Chapter 2553. He has the aura of the ancestral dragon. Eat him. We can break through. The green lion spoke in human language. Although it was a little obscure, Ling Xiao could clearly understand the meaning of his words. At the same time, he also saw the greed in the green lion's eyes. Eat him. The other three demonic saints also roared. Monstrous demonic qi radiated from their bodies. Their qi and blood soared into the sky as if they could shatter the void. Ling Xiao could feel that although these demonic saints were powerful, their intelligence was equivalent to that of a child's. They instinctively sensed the aura of the ancestral dragon on Ling Xiao and wanted to devour him. All the creatures on this planet, be it animals or plants, were tainted with the aura of the ancestral dragon. It was not an exaggeration to call them the descendants of the ancestral dragon. The ancestral dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body was an irresistible temptation to them. As long as they devoured Ling Xiao's ancestral dragon bloodline, their cultivation would break through, their intelligence would increase, and they could even leave this planet. Previously, Ling Xiao had concealed his aura, so no one noticed him. However, the battle between Ling Xiao and the golden-winged dragon eagle instantly attracted the attention of the four strongest demonic saints nearby. Boom! Ling Xiao punched out. Purple divine light surged and a huge fist print broke through everything in an instant, as if it had passed through layers of the void. Wrapped in a destructive force, it was as if it was going to split the heavens and earth. It instantly landed on the green lion's body. Puff! The green protective demonic light around the green lion suddenly exploded. The surrounding sky shook violently. An invincible force directly invaded the green lion's body, causing his meridians to feel as if they were about to shatter. He was instantly sent flying. Boom! 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 Ling Xiao's fists were like dragons. Each of his fists contained extreme physical strength and immortal primordial purple light. They could destroy everything and sweep through everything in the world. His aura was extremely powerful. Even the golden-winged dragon eagle was no match for Ling Xiao, let alone these four ordinary demonic saints. Almost none of them could withstand a single punch from Ling Xiao. In the end, the four demonic saints were all killed by Ling Xiao. Their corpses fell to the ground like mountains. In Ling Xiao's hand, there were four resplendent pearls that were as dazzling as the sun. They were green, black, green, and red respectively, and contained an incomparably majestic energy fluctuation. They were the demonic cores of the four demonic saints. The golden-winged dragon hawk was dumbfounded. Initially, the golden-winged dragon hawk was gloating over Ling Xiao's misfortune when he was besieged by the four demonic overlords. He wanted to see Ling Xiao get beaten up by the four demonic overlords before making his move. However, he did not expect Ling Xiao to end the battle so easily. The golden-winged dragon hawk immediately lowered its head, afraid that Ling Xiao would discover its thoughts and beat it up again. Are you all scared? That's right. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. His divine sense sensed that there were many powerful beasts and even demonic saints around. However, because they had witnessed Ling Xiao defeating the golden-winged dragon hawk and killing the four demonic saints, they were all trembling in fear and didn't dare to come close. Although they coveted Ling Xiao's ancestral dragon bloodline, they were more afraid of death. Master, you're invincible. They're all scared. After the golden-winged dragon hawk was subdued by Ling Xiao, it was able to communicate with Ling Xiao through telepathy. Ling Xiao could even see a flattering smile on this guy's face. That's right, flattery. It seemed like the golden-winged dragon hawk was completely scared. Let's go. To Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Ling Xiao leaped up and landed on the back of the golden-winged dragon hawk. Yes. The golden-winged dragon eagle nodded. Although he wasn't very intelligent, he was still as intelligent as a child. He had no problem communicating with Ling Xiao normally. Now that he heard Ling Xiao's order, he immediately turned into a bolt of golden lightning and flew towards Ancestral Dragon Mountain at an extremely fast speed. We've finally escaped. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao rushed out of a huge lake. Their faces were filled with shock. Their clothes were tattered and their auras were weak. They looked extremely miserable. Long Outyin held the Long Yuan sword in his hand. His eyes were filled with fear. If it wasn't for the Long Yuan sword, he and Long Xiaoxiao would have died here. It was too terrifying. What was this place? Even the fishes in the lake were so terrifying. After entering the ancestral dragon cave, although Ling Xiao was separated from them, Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyin coincidentally landed in the same place. Looking at the huge lake in front of him with golden fish swimming around, Long Outyin volunteered to catch a few fish for Long Xiaoxiao to eat. However, he did not expect that just as Long Outyin jumped into the lake, he was entangled by a few incomparably huge fish, and was directly pulled into the lake. In order to save Long Outyin, Long Xiaoxiao also jumped into the lake. After entering the lake, Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyin realized that the golden fishes contained the bloodline of the dragon tribe. They were the legendary mutated golden arowana. There was even a huge golden arowana king among them. The golden arowana king was dozens of feet long. Its entire body was golden, and it had dragon scales, dragon whiskers, and a huge dragon head. Its strength was extremely terrifying. It had reached the level of a demonic overlord. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao were almost eaten by the golden arowana king. Fortunately, the two of them fought with their lives on the line. In addition, Long Outyin had the dragon abyss sword in his hand. In the end, he killed the golden arowana king, snatched the golden arowana king's demonic core, and rushed out. Hehe Xiaoxiao, this is the demonic pearl of a demonic overlord. We have completed 1/6 of our mission. Once we kill 5 more demonic overlords and obtain 5 demonic pearls, we will be able to head to the ancestral dragon mountain. Long Outyin handed the demonic pearl of the golden arowana king to Long Xiaoxiao, and said as if he was presenting a treasure. His face was filled with pride as if he had forgotten about the embarrassing situation just now. It's already so difficult to kill 1 demonic overlord. It won't be that easy to kill 5 more demonic overlords. This planet is filled with danger. We should be careful. Long Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes at Long Outyin and said solemnly. Her clothes were drenched, outlining her perfect curves. As she breathed heavily, her fair skin and voluptuous breasts were exposed in front of Long Outyin. Long Outyin's eyes almost popped out of their sockets when he saw her. Long Outyin had never thought that Long Xiaoxiao, who looked like a lowly and was extremely petite, would be so impressive. Have you seen enough? Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2554. No. Long Outyin opened his mouth to reply, but he suddenly felt an indescribable killing intent, causing him to tremble. He hurriedly raised his head and met Long Xiaoxiao's gaze. He immediately knew that he was in trouble. Xiaoxiao. I didn't do it on purpose. It's your fault. It's so big. Long Outyin let out a dry laugh and quickly explained. However, it would have been better if he didn't explain. Once he explained, the murderous aura in Long Xiaoxiao's eyes intensified. She shouted, Long Outyin, I'm going to kill you. Boom. 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 Long Xiaoxiao was like an extremely violent lowly. Her body exploded with an incomparable amount of energy. Her fists rained down on Long Outyin like raindrops. Long Outyin covered his head and ran away like a rat. He didn't even dare to fight back. Long Outyin was only a 4th revolution half-saint. Even if he wanted to fight back, he wouldn't be able to defeat Long Xiaoxiao. In the end, Long Xiaoxiao's depression was swept away. She felt refreshed. On the other hand, Long Outyin was in a miserable state. His face was swollen and he was groaning as he lay on the ground. Are you dead? If you're not, then let's go. I feel that something is wrong. The way the golden dragonfish king looked at us is too strange. It's as if we're food. Could it be that the ancestral dragon's bloodline in our bodies is attractive to it? It'll be troublesome if it attracts other demonic overlords. Long Xiaoxiao kicked Long Outyin, who was lying on the ground, and said in a bad mood. Whoosh. Long Outyin bounced up from the ground and said to Long Xiaoxiao, You're right. I also feel that it's very strange. Why does the golden dragonfish king have such a majestic bloodline in its body? Although it's not very pure, it contains an incomparable amount of energy. I've devoured all the essence blood in its body. Now, I feel that I can undergo 2 more nirvana tribulations. Although Long Outyin's face was swollen and he was in a sorry state, he was the one who had benefited the most from the bottom of the lake. After killing the golden dragonfish king, Long Outyin used the heaven-devouring secret skill, and devoured all the essence of the golden dragonfish king. The golden dragonfish king was very powerful. Long Outyin estimated that it was at the pinnacle of the saint stage. Otherwise, the battle would not have been so difficult. After Outyin devoured the flesh of the golden dragonfish king, not only did his ancestral dragon bloodline improve, but his cultivation also skyrocketed. He felt like he was about to explode as if he had eaten a lot of great tonics. That's right. This planet emitted an incomparably majestic ancestral dragon pressure. Ordinary people would be greatly suppressed if they came here. Only those with the ancestral dragon bloodline could come here. Every blade of grass and every tree here should contain the ancestral dragon's aura. If we can continuously kill demon saints and devour their flesh and blood essence, perhaps our cultivation will soon break through to the saint realm. Long Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. She suddenly felt that the demon overlords weren't as scary as before. Instead, they were like supreme origin sacred medicines that were their fortune. Then let's go. I can sense a powerful demon overlord in the mountain in front. However, its aura isn't as strong as the golden dragonfish king. Let's kill it. Long Xiaoxiao said eagerly. Her eyes were filled with anticipation and battle intent. All right. Let's go. Long Outyin nodded and said. The mountain in front of them seemed to be tens of thousands of feet tall. It emitted a monstrous demonic aura. It was occupied by a dark tyrannical sky tiger. No other demonic beasts or beasts dared to go near it. The dark tyrannical sky tiger was a primitive species. It was almost extinct in the demon world. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao did not expect to encounter it here. Moreover, the body of the dark tyrannical sky tiger also contained the rich ancestral dragon's aura. Kill it. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao looked at each other. Their eyes lit up and their bodies emitted a violent battle intent. They were like two violent men who were eager to fight. They swaggered into the territory of the dark tyrannical sky tiger, and were immediately discovered by the dark tyrannical sky tiger. Moreover, the rich ancestral dragon's bloodline in their bodies attracted the dark tyrannical sky tiger's greed. Roar. Almost as soon as they met, an intense battle broke out. Although Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao were only sage to be, Long Outyin had the Dragon Abyss sword in his hand and cultivated the Primal Chaos ancestral dragon scripture. His physical body was incomparably strong. Long Xiaoxiao even took out a supreme sacred artifact and performed the supreme secret technique of the Dragon Clan to fight the dark tyrannical sky tiger. In the end, the dark tyrannical sky tiger's head was chopped off by Long Outyin with the Dragon Abyss sword. Long Xiaoxiao took out the demonic core from its body. Devour. Long Outyin performed the sky-devouring secret technique and began to devour the dark tyrannical sky tiger's flesh and blood essence. Ancestral Dragon Refining Heaven Technique. Long Xiaoxiao also cultivated the supreme secret technique of the Dragon Clan. She could directly extract the ancestral dragon's aura from the dark tyrannical sky tiger's body. The gigantic corpse of the dark tyrannical sky tiger, which was as big as a mountain, was refined by Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao. Soon after, it was blown away by the wind and disappeared without a trace. No, I'm going to break through. Long Outyin's body was overflowing with dazzling divine light. After devouring the flesh and blood essence of two demonic overlords, he had reached his limit. Even with the Primal Chaos ancestral dragon scripture refining the majestic energy, he had reached the point of breaking through. Rumble. Long Outyin's body exuded an incomparably powerful aura fluctuation. Blazing lightning rose in the void. At the same time, an incomparably dense tribulation aura permeated out from his body. This guy, how did he trigger the heavenly wrath when he's crossing the nirvana tribulation? Long Xiaoxiao was shocked by the scene of Long Outyin crossing the nirvana tribulation. Her eyes were filled with incomparable amazement. When ordinary sage-to-be experts crossed the nirvana tribulation, they would undergo a transformation from the inside out. Tribulation aura would emerge from the body and the power of birth, decay, and destruction would emerge from the body. They would achieve nirvana rebirth and break through the realm. However, Long Outyin was crossing the nirvana tribulation at the same time. The tribulation aura would transform from the inside out while the heavenly wrath would descend from the outside. It was extremely terrifying. If he was careless, He might be buried in the nirvana tribulation and turn into ashes. Roar. However, Long Outyin did not have the slightest scruple in the face of such a level of nirvana tribulation. The dragon's aura permeated from his body, and a vast dragon's roar exploded between the heavens and the earth, causing the surrounding void to tremble. Chaotic light rose from Long Outyin's body, and a mysterious 9-colored divine dragon emerged from the chaos. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2555. At the center of the planet, there was a huge, majestic, ancient and mysterious mountain. It looked like a huge divine dragon was lying dormant on the ground and exuded vast dragon power. That was Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Ancestral Dragon Mountain was the center of the planet, and it was 1,000,000 feet tall. Every blade of grass and stone on the mountain contained dragon power and the aura of the dragon tribe. In a huge palace, there was a raging fire. The fire was golden and it looked like flowing gold. It contained an energy fluctuation that could destroy everything. There was a young man in black robes. His black hair danced in the wind. His face was extremely handsome, and he gave off a vast and terrifying dragon's might. He sat cross-legged in the boundless flames and cultivated. Did 3 people with ancestral dragon bloodline enter the Archosaur star? How is this possible? Other than Long Xiaoxiao, who else has ancestral dragon bloodline? The black-robed young man opened his eyes abruptly, and there was shock in his eyes. When he was cultivating, he tried to merge with ancestral dragon star so that he could control it. However, he did not expect to find 3 powerful auras entering ancestral dragon star. One of the auras should belong to Long Xiaoxiao. Who were the other 2? Did something happen to the ancestral land of the dragon tribe? 10 dragon generals, listen up. There was a grave look in the eyes of the black-robed young man, and he suddenly shouted towards the outside of the palace. Rumble. The door of the palace opened and 10 figures with powerful auras appeared in the palace. They then knelt down before the young man in a black robe respectfully. Greetings, master. The 10 figures said at the same time. They all looked different. Although they were all in human form, the characteristics of demonic beasts could be faintly seen. They were surrounded by incomparably powerful demonic aura and holy aura, showing that they were 10 powerful demonic saints, and their cultivation was comparable to the great saint realm. Search around Ancestral Dragon Mountain. No matter what, don't let the 3 of them come to Ancestral Dragon Mountain. If you can capture them alive, bring them to me. If you can't, kill them and bring their bodies to me. The young man in a black robe said coldly. A light flashed in his palm, and the 3 ancestral dragon auras that he sensed flew into the hands of the 10 dragon generals. Yes, the 10 dragon generals nodded respectfully, then turned around and left the huge palace. They turned into streaks of light and shot in all directions of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Once I refine the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Seal and obtain the inheritance of the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, you will die no matter who you are. The black-robed young man muttered to himself. His eyes were filled with intense killing intent. Boom. Long Outyin's entire body emitted blazing rays of light. His entire aura began to soar rapidly. Before the 5th Nirvana tribulation could completely erupt, it was directly refined by Long Outyin. However, the majestic heavenly might in the sky did not disappear. Bolts of blazing lightning struck Long Outyin's body, bathing him in the lightning that filled the sky. His physical body became stronger and stronger. The 6th Nirvana tribulation had descended. Long Outyin felt as if an extremely mysterious force was awakening within his body. The Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture began to circulate rapidly, constantly devouring the tribulation chi within his body and the vast lightning in the sky. Just like that, Long Outyin's cultivation began to soar rapidly. He had devoured the flesh and blood of the 2 demon saints, allowing him to undergo 5 Nirvana tribulations in succession. Rumble. When the lightning that filled the sky completely dissipated, Long Outyin's entire body emanated a majestic dragon aura that caused the surrounding space to tremble violently. His entire aura had become extremely terrifying. 9th Revolution Half-Saint. Long Outyin's cultivation had reached the peak of the half-saint realm. He had undergone 9 Nirvana tribulations, and become a ninth revolution half-saint. He underwent 9 nirvana tribulations just like that? Isn't this a little too casual? Long Xiaoxiao's eyes widened. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. When others underwent a nirvana tribulation, they were extremely careful. They needed to prepare for a long time before they could undergo a nirvana tribulation. They might even be weak at times. Who would have thought that Long Outyan's nirvana tribulation would be as simple as eating and drinking? After devouring the flesh and blood of the 2 demonic overlords, he had actually passed through 5 nirvana tribulations, and his cultivation had skyrocketed to the 9th revolution half-saint realm. Xiao Xiao, my cultivation has already caught up with yours. It won't be long before I, Long Outyan, can attain the Tao and become a saint. So let me protect you in the future. Long Outyan said smugly. His face was filled with complacency. This breakthrough had also exceeded Long Outyan's expectations. He originally thought that it would be good enough if he could undergo 2 nirvana tribulations. However, he had never expected that the flesh and blood of the 2 demon saints would contain such majestic energy. Moreover, the ancestral dragon aura within them had stimulated the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. Long Outyan's comprehension of the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture had increased by leaps and bounds, causing his cultivation to soar. In a moment of carelessness, he had undergone 5 nirvana tribulations and become a 9th revolution half-saint. Don't be so smug. Even if you've broken through to the 9th revolution half-saint realm, you're still no match for me. However, I can sense that the creatures on this planet contain the aura of the ancestral dragon, especially those powerful demon saints. If we can kill them and devour their flesh and blood, as well as the aura of the ancestral dragon, it will be greatly beneficial to our cultivation. Long Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes at Long Outyan. Then she said seriously, "That's right. This is indeed the land of fortune for those with the ancestral dragon bloodline. No wonder those with the ancestral dragon bloodline in the past would have their cultivation soar after entering the ancestral dragon cave." Long Outyan nodded and said, Long Outyan had tasted the sweetness. The flesh and blood of the 2 demon saints had already caused his cultivation to soar. If he could kill a few more demon saints, would he be able to attain the Tao and become a saint? Let's go. Both Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyan's eyes lit up as they began to move towards the ancestral dragon mountain. They believed that they would encounter many powerful demon saints along the way, and those demon saints would be their prey. They would be their opportunity and fortune. In the next few days, Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyan traversed the mountains and passed through this ancient and desolate world. They hunted and devoured a few more demon saints. This demon saint had finally gathered 6 demon saint cores. On the other hand, the flesh and blood of the beast overlords allowed Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyan's cultivation to soar. Although they hadn't verified their Tao and become saints, they were much closer to the saint realm. Attaining the Tao and becoming a saint required them to comprehend the heaven and earth, the great Tao, and their accumulation. It couldn't be done overnight. The flesh and blood of demon saints couldn't help them break through. Chapter 2556. However, the flesh and blood essence of those demonic overlords contained incomparably pure energy and ancestral dragon's aura, allowing them to accumulate more and more. After a few days of traveling, Long Xiaoxiao and Long Outyan felt that they were very close to Ancestral Dragon Mountain. It was a very special feeling. Although they had never been to Ancestral Dragon Mountain, the Ancestral Dragon bloodline in their bodies told them that they were very close to it. It was a kind of power of the bloodline that was guiding them to Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Xiaoxiao, we can now easily kill a demonic overlord at the peak of the Saint Realm. Should we try to kill a great Saint demonic overlord? Long Outyan said eagerly. He and Long Xiaoxiao's cooperation was getting better and better, and the Long Yuan sword in his hand was also getting stronger and stronger. Long Outyan's battle prowess shocked Long Xiaoxiao. In the beginning, although Long Outyan had the Long Yuan sword, his combat skills and strength were not as good as Long Xiaoxiao's. He needed Long Xiaoxiao to pin down the demonic overlords to create an opportunity for Long Outyan to kill them. However, after a few days of fighting, Long Outyan's combat strength skyrocketed rapidly. Especially with the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon scripture, Long Outyan's physique, strength, and combat skills had made a qualitative leap, making Long Xiaoxiao feel incomparably pressured. Long Xiaoxiao had to admit that although Long Outyan deserved a beating, his potential was too amazing. Kill a great saint demonic overlord? You're really ambitious. The peak of the Saint Realm and the Great Saint Realm are incomparable. We haven't proven our Dao and become saints yet. Even if you have the Long Yuan sword, it's almost impossible to defeat a great saint. Long Xiaoxiao shook her head and said, we have to give it a try. With our current combat strength, even if we can't defeat a great saint, we can still escape. Long Outyan said confidently, oh no. There are 3 powerful demonic overlords flying towards us. It seems like we're their target. Long Xiaoxiao was about to say something, but her body suddenly trembled, and her eyes revealed a trace of incomparably solemn expression. He could feel that the 3 powerful auras were extremely terrifying. All of them had the cultivation of the Great Sage Realm, causing the surrounding void to rumble. 3 demonic overlords? Hee, just nice. Let them have a taste of my Long Yuan sword. Long Outyan's eyes lit up. Instead of being shocked, he was delighted. Shut up. You idiot. Those are 3 great saint stage demon saints. You really have a crow's beak. Now it's not a question of whether we can win or not, but how we can escape. Long Xiaoxiao reprimanded Long Outyan with an unprecedentedly solemn expression. 3 great saint stage demon saints? Long Outyan's expression changed. At this moment, he also felt that the 3 extremely terrifying auras were far more powerful than the 6 ordinary demonic saints they had killed. What made Long Outyan's face turn ugly was that he could feel that the 3 great sage demonic overlords had locked onto him and Long Xiaoxiao, making it impossible for them to escape. They were coming for them. Rumble. The 3 figures arrived in front of Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao in a few breaths' time. The 3 figures formed a triangle and surrounded the 2 of them. They were 3 burly men in black robes. They had wolf heads and human bodies. Their auras were incomparably terrifying. Each of them looked ferocious with a golden horn on their heads that flickered with dazzling lightning. Their eyes were filled with ruthlessness and bloodlust. Hard work pays off for the faithful. I didn't expect that we would encounter 2 of the ancestral dragon bloodline that Master mentioned. As long as we capture them alive and bring them back to Master will surely reward us greatly. A burly man in black robes sneered. The other 2 burly men also laughed excitedly. Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao seemed to only be in the half-saint realm, and their auras were very weak. They did not take them seriously at all. In their opinion, Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao were no match for them. They are actually Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves. Long Xiaoxiao's expression changed as she recognized the origin of the 3 figures. Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves were an ancient variant species. Legend had it that they were the descendants of the Thunder Dragon and the Sky Wolf. Not only could they control lightning, but they also possessed extreme speed. Their physical body was indestructible, and they were extremely powerful. Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves were almost extinct in the demon world. Long Xiaoxiao did not expect to see 3 of them here at once. Moreover, they looked like 3 brothers. The auras of the 3 Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves were extremely terrifying. They were not ordinary demon overlords. Judging from their auras, they had already reached the peak of the Great Saint Realm. Moreover, the 3 Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves were the most intelligent demon overlords that Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao had encountered. The 2 of you will be spared from physical pain if you surrender obediently. If you dare to resist, don't blame us for being merciless. Another burly man in black robes said with a sinister smile, Master? Who is your master? Could it be Aoang? Long Outyan's eyes flashed. His gaze fell on the 3 burly men in black robes in front of him. A thought flashed in his mind as he suddenly spoke. It seems like you do recognize our master. If that's the case, do you choose to surrender? The leading burly man in black robes said in surprise. Aoang? That bastard is really here. It's impossible for us to surrender. How dare 3 Golden Horn Sky Thunder Wolves act so presumptuously in front of me? Long Xiaoxiao's expression changed when she heard the 2 words Aoang. The light in her eyes was as sharp as a blade. She instantly exuded a majestic dragon's aura. It was ancient and terrifying. It was the ancestral dragon's aura. It suppressed the three burly men in black robes in front of her. The Golden Horn Sky Thunderwolves possessed the dragon clan's bloodline. Naturally, they would be suppressed by the ancestral dragon's bloodline. Although the three of them were in the Great Saint Realm, they could not help but tremble when they felt the powerful dragon's aura from Long Xiaoxiao. You're courting death. Brothers, since these two are courting death, let's beat them half to death and bring them back to our master. The leading burly man in black robe sneered. His eyes were instantly filled with intense killing intent and ferocious light. Rumble. The three burly men in black robes exuded a majestic aura. Powerful Saint's aura exploded and shot up into the sky like three blazing golden lights. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2557. Although the golden-horned heavenly thunderwolf was an ancient variant beast, they were born in Archosaur star, and were naturally affected by the ancestral dragon's aura. The ancestral dragon bloodline naturally suppressed them. Fortunately, the three of them were great saints and Aoang had activated their spiritual intelligence. They were 2 realms higher than Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao, and could withstand the oppression of the ancestral dragon bloodline. Otherwise, if they were in the same realm as Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao, they would have knelt on the ground and shivered when the ancestral dragon bloodline appeared. Rumble. The 3 black-robed burly men pounced on Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao. 3 golden fist prints that contained overbearing thunderbolt power shot across the sky like meteors and pressed down on them. They were naturally close to the law of thunderbolt. Hence, the moment they attacked, they unleashed a powerful thunderbolt power. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao's faces changed, and they felt as though they were in the midst of an endless heavenly tribulation. Kill. Long Outyin's face turned solemn, and the smile on his face disappeared. Vast holy power filled the air around him, and the Long Yuan sword appeared in his hand. Instantly, it turned into a sharp sword light and shot across the sky like a black divine dragon. In an instant, it grew to tens of thousands of feet and coiled around the 2 black-robed burly men. Vast and mighty Emperor's aura exploded. At the same time, it contained the powerful ancestral dragon's oppression as though it could destroy everything. What? It's an extreme Emperor weapon. One of the black-robed burly men was shocked and shouted angrily. No, it's not a complete extreme Emperor weapon. It's slightly damaged. Otherwise, with his sage-to-be cultivation, it's impossible for him to activate a complete extreme Emperor weapon. Great fortune. This is a great fortune for the 3 of us. As long as we kill them, this damaged extreme Dao Monarch weapon will be ours. The other black-robed burly man was overjoyed, and his eyes were filled with greed. Kacha. The huge fist and the dragon abyss sword collided. In an instant, a monstrous divine light was set off, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. The 2 black-robed men felt the unparalleled Emperor's aura erupting. Both of them trembled and retreated at the same time. Although Long Outyin managed to block their overbearing lightning fists, the boundless divine power still caused his blood to churn, and he was sent flying. Brat, with your half-saint cultivation base, how many times can you activate the incomplete extreme Dao Emperor weapon? Die. The 2 black-robed men's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Violent lightning energy exploded around them, turning the surroundings into a sea of lightning. Terrifying light covered the sky as it pressed down on Long Outyin. You want my Long Yuan sword? Give me your life in exchange. Long Outyin's eyes were filled with madness. Terrifying divine power surged around him as he activated the primal chaos ancestor dragon scripture. Blazing divine light rose around him, forming an ancient and mysterious 9-colored divine dragon, causing the surrounding sky to tremble violently. At this moment, the Long Yuan sword seemed to have completely awakened. In an instant, it turned into a black sword light and merged with the 9-colored divine dragon in the void. It let out an ancient and resonant dragon roar, piercing through the void and charging towards the 2 black-robed men. Long Outyin began to fight desperately. The 2 black-robed men gave him an unfathomable pressure. Long Outyin was like a candle flame in the wind, about to be extinguished at any time. If he did not have the Long Yuan sword in his hand, he would not have been able to withstand one round, and would have been defeated. Rumble. On the other side, Long Xiaoxiao and the black-robed man began to fight. Long Xiaoxiao was the little princess of the dragon tribe, and was doted on by the Dragon King. Hence, he had given her many powerful treasures. The golden dragon hairpin on her head, the white dragon armor on her body, the aurora boots on her feet, and the 9 dragons whip in her hand were all supreme holy treasures. Although her cultivation was 2 realms lower than the black-robed man, she was able to fend off the black-robed man's storm-like attacks with the help of those powerful holy treasures. What a great opportunity! What a great opportunity! I did not expect this little girl to have so many treasures with her. I have to capture her no matter what. The black-robed man stared at Long Outyin, his eyes filled with greed. The 3 golden-horned sky thunder wolves were born in Archosaur Star and possess great power. After countless years of cultivation, their cultivation was comparable to the peak of the Great Saint Realm. Hence, Aoang took a fancy to them and took them in as one of the 10 dragon generals. However, apart from having great power, they had never seen any treasures. Before Aoang had awakened their intelligence, they were only as intelligent as children. They were ignorant and only knew how to do whatever they wanted in Archosaur Star. They killed other ferocious beasts and drank their blood. They did not know how to refine elixirs or refine weapons. They did not even have a weapon that they could use. Although Aoang had subdued them, he was merely using them. It was impossible for him to give them any weapons. The black-robed man was dazzled by Long Xiaoxiao's set of supreme holy treasures, and he was greedy. He could not wait to capture Long Xiaoxiao and take all her treasures away. Boom, boom, boom. The black-robed man's original form was a golden-horned sky thunder wolf. He was born with the ability to control thunderbolts. He was extremely fast and could use the 9th heaven black wind. When he attacked, there were thunderbolts and his aura was terrifying. Many huge fist prints flew toward Long Xiaoxiao like meteors. Crack. The 9 dragons whip in Long Xiaoxiao's hand gave out 9-colored divine light. It was like a 9-colored divine dragon soaring in the sky. It collided with the black-robed man's fist prints and resisted his ferocious attacks. No. If this goes on, Long Outyin and I will be captured by them sooner or later, because of the exhaustion of our saint powers. That bastard, what is he trying to do? Does he think he can fight against 2 peak great saints with a broken Long Yuan sword? Long Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with anxiety. She saw Long Outyin fighting 2 black-robed men from the corner of her eyes. Although she was complaining, there was a trace of emotion in her eyes. This bastard doesn't seem to be so despicable anymore. Although Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao were peak sage to be, they had not become sages. They could not merge with the great way of heaven and earth and control the power of heaven and earth continuously like the sages. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2558. The 2 of them have improved their cultivation to such a high level in just a dozen days? That's amazing. While Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao were fighting the 3 black-robed men, Ling Xiao, who was hiding in the void, looked at the battle with a hint of surprise in his eyes. Ling Xiao had arrived a long time ago. He had searched the entire Archosaur Star for more than a dozen days with the help of the golden-winged dragon eagle. Finally, he found Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao. However, before he could meet Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao, he saw the 3 golden-horned sky lightning wolves. They wanted to deal with Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao, so he was not in a hurry to appear. He wanted to see how strong Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao were. The battle in front of Ling Xiao was indeed a big surprise. Long Outyin's cultivation had improved to the peak of the Sage-to-Be realm, and his Chaos Ancestor Dragon scripture had improved greatly. Long Outyin activated the Chaos Ancestor Dragon scripture and wielded the Long Yuan sword. He was on par with the 2 golden-horned thunderwolves. Since the 3 golden-horned thunderwolves are Aoang's subordinates, it means that Aoang has arrived at Archosaur Mountain. Perhaps he is taking the test of the ancestral dragon's inheritance now. Ling Xiao thought to himself with a flash of light in his eyes. Aoang must be powerful to be able to tame 3 golden-horned thunderwolves who were at the peak of the Great Saint Realm. He could not delay any longer. He had to hurry to Archosaur Mountain. Otherwise, if Aoang obtained the ancestral dragon's inheritance and controlled the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal, he would be in deep trouble. Rumble. At this moment, one of the black-robed men took a hit from Long Outyan's Long Yuan sword. Another black-robed man appeared behind Long Outyan with the 9 heavens black wind and threw a punch at Long Outyan. The 9 divine dragons Gang Chi protecting Long Outyan exploded. Although Long Outyan felt the attack behind him, he could not block it in time. He could only take the blow. His body trembled violently and he was sent flying. On the other side, Long Xiaoxiao's face was pale. She had used up too much of her saint power and was feeling weak. Cousin, if you don't come out, I will really be beaten to death by them. Long Outyan suddenly howled miserably. His eyes were filled with resentment as he stared at the void and roared. Cousin? This kid still has reinforcements hidden around? The 2 black-robed men were taken aback, and a look of suspicion appeared in their eyes. They instantly became vigilant. An expert that they could not detect had to be extremely terrifying. While the 2 black-robed men were in a daze, Long Outyan flashed and turned into a streak of golden light. He arrived before Long Xiaoxiao and slashed the black-robed man in front of him with the Long Yuan sword. He then carried Long Xiaoxiao and fled into the distance. Fuck, this brat is tricking us. Kill him. The 3 black-robed men immediately reacted. They had been tricked by Long Outyan, and they were enraged. Their eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent as they chased after Long Outyan. It was no wonder that Long Outyan had tricked them. Their intelligence had just been raised, and they were still incomparably naive. When had they ever seen such a trick from Long Outyan? This brat, I thought you had really discovered me. Ling Xiao, who was hiding in the dark, was also shocked. He immediately reacted and scolded with a smile. Whoosh. However, Ling Xiao did not intend to continue hiding. Light flashed around him, and he instantly blocked in front of the 3 black-robed men. Then he threw out a punch. Caught it. Golden divine light gushed out like the explosion of a resplendent sun. The void was filled with ferocious fist energy. It was as if a majestic immemorial mountain was pressing down, containing a supreme power that could suppress primordial chaos and split heaven and earth apart. Who is it? The 3 black-robed men's faces changed drastically, revealing incomparable shock. Long Outyan was telling the truth? Was there really someone hiding in the dark? The monstrous fist before them was domineering, majestic, unruly, and valiant. It made them feel like they could not block it. Rumble. After the 3 black-robed men sensed a fatal threat, they instantly spewed out blazing golden lightning. In an instant, monstrous demonic light rose around them. The 3 of them directly revealed their true forms, which were huge black wolves tens of thousands of feet tall. They had a single golden horn on their heads, and endless lightning circled around them. They erupted with the strongest demonic energy around them, and attacked with a devouring force. Boom. It was as if heaven and earth had exploded. An incomparably terrifying divine light storm swept out in all directions. Amidst the lightning that filled the sky, a huge fist swept through the endless lightning. Then, without losing any momentum, it slammed into the 3 golden-horned lightning wolves. Roar! 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 The 3 golden-horned lightning wolves let out incomparably miserable roars. Half of their bodies exploded into a bloody mist after being hit by Ling Xiao's fist, and they were sent flying. It's cousin. Ha! It really is cousin. Big brother Ling Xiao. Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao were stunned for a moment. Then incomparable joy appeared on their faces. This was especially so for Long Outyan. He originally only wanted to trick the 2 golden-horned lightning wolves, but he did not expect Ling Xiao to really come. The joy of escaping from a hopeless situation filled Long Outyan's entire body, and he immediately cried out in excitement. Cousin, go easy on them. The flesh and blood of these 3 golden-horned lightning wolves contains an incomparable amount of energy. They are the hope for Xiaoxiao and I to become saints. It's best if you directly destroy their primordial spirits. Their bodies must not be damaged. Long Outyan seemed to have thought of something, and he anxiously shouted at Ling Xiao. Ah, bastard! The 3 golden-horned sky thunder wolves were shocked and enraged by Ling Xiao's strength. However, after hearing Long Outyan's words, they were instantly enraged. Their bodies were trembling, and their eyes were filled with murderous intent. If looks could kill, Long Outyin would have died many times over. Being stared at by the three golden-horned lightning wolves, Long Outyin was so frightened that he shrunk his head. However, he immediately remembered that Ling Xiao was in front of him, and he could not help but muster up his courage and sneered. "What are you looking at? You think you can kill your grandfather with just the three of you? Let me tell you, my cousin is the future Emperor of Heaven, the Master of the Universe. Why don't you obediently surrender yourselves?" Long Xiaoxiao's forehead was filled with black lines. She suddenly felt that Long Outyin's smug look had become incomparably annoying. Big brother Ling Xiao is still the best. Chapter 2559. One of the golden-horned sky lightning wolves stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly, "Very good. I didn't expect that the three people Master is looking for are all here. This way, we don't have to waste time searching. You'd better surrender obediently." Boom. A bright ring bloomed in the golden-horned sky lightning wolf's palm. In an instant, a vast dragon aura filled the air. 9 divine dragons coiled in the void, forming a ring, and a void passage appeared. 7 incomparably powerful auras walked out of the void passage in an instant. They were 7 demonic overlords with terrifying auras. Every demonic overlord had reached the peak of the great sage realm. Their auras were even stronger than the golden-horned sky lightning wolf. Their eyes were cold, and they exuded a powerful killing intent. The 10 dragon generals were all here. Although the golden-horned sky lightning wolf was shocked by Ling Zhao's strength, he could tell that Ling Zhao's cultivation was only in the great sage realm. Moreover, Ling Xiao was the owner of the third aura that Aoang was looking for. Therefore, he did not hesitate to activate the spatial dragon ring mark left by Aoang, and summoned the other 7 dragon generals. With the 10 dragon generals, capturing Ling Xiao, Long Outyin, and Long Xiaoxiao was a piece of cake. There are actually 10 demonic overlords? It seems that Aoang's methods are not bad. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he said indifferently. He did not stop the golden-horned sky lightning wolf from summoning the 7 dragon generals. In Ling Zhao's opinion, the 10 dragon generals could be dealt with together. You are the people Master is looking for? 1 great sage, 2 half-sages, and the golden-horned sky lightning wolf. You can't even deal with them? What a bunch of trash. The leader of the 10 dragon generals was a cold and arrogant young man in silver armor. He looked tall and handsome, and he exuded a bone-chilling aura. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He realized that the body of this arrogant young man was actually a frost-horned dragon. The dragon bloodline in his body was not weak. It was at least at the level of a divine dragon bloodline. It was no wonder that he could become the leader of the 10 dragon generals. When the 3 golden-horned sky lightning wolves heard the scolding of the arrogant young man, their faces flushed red with shame. "Great dragon general, this brat is very strong. The 3 of us brothers are no match for his punch. Please capture them, great dragon general." A golden-horned sky thunder wolf said. "He defeated the 3 of you with a single punch? I want to see just how strong he is." A glint flashed across the eyes of the icily arrogant young man, revealing a trace of shock. Even he could not say that he could defeat Goldenhorn and Sky Lightning Wolf with a single punch. Cut the crap. I still need to go to Ancestral Dragon Mountain to kill Aoang. You 10 come at me together. Otherwise, you won't stand a chance. Ling Xiao said indifferently, his expression incomparably calm. Arrogant. You're courting death. Cold light flashed in the eyes of the 10 dragon generals. They were filled with murderous intent. They had not expected Ling Xiao to be so arrogant. Every single one of them was surrounded by blazing demonic light. Their terrifying auras caused the surrounding space to tremble violently. Boom. Ling Zhao's body was filled with purple light, giving him an immortal and mysterious luster. His skin was like glass, containing a mysterious energy fluctuation. His eyes seemed to contain the power of life and death, encompassing the stars in the sky. Facing the 10 dragon generals in front of him, Ling Xiao was indifferent. He threw out a punch, and the vast blood energy around him shot up into the sky, covering the sky. In an instant, it turned into a giant purple palm, pressing down on the 10 dragon generals. Brother Ling Xiao is too domineering. I like it. Long Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with admiration. Even if all the 10 dragon generals were here, as long as Ling Xiao was standing in front of her, she was not afraid at all. Her eyes were filled with radiance. Xiaoxiao, my cultivation is not high enough now. When I reach the Great Saint Realm, I can also kill these bastards with a single slap. Long Outyin said with jealousy. You? When you reach the Great Saint Realm, Brother Ling Xiao might have already become an emperor. Long Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes at Long Outyin, causing Long Outyin to feel hurt. Rumble. The battle between Ling Xiao and the 10 dragon generals instantly erupted. Although it was an intense battle, it was actually a one-sided slaughter. Ling Xiao's purple palm swept through the void, enveloping the 10 dragon generals. Almost instantly, a few of them were struck to the point of spitting out blood, heavily injured. Only the icily arrogant young man and a few others barely managed to escape from the palm. But their blood was churning, and their eyes were filled with incomparable fear. You? How can you be so strong? The arrogant young man's eyes were filled with fear. He did not even feel such a terrifying pressure from his master. Aoang Ling Xiao looked like he was only a Great Saint Realm cultivator. But his true strength was incomparably terrifying. He could even suppress a saint ruler, let alone the 10 dragon generals. Boom, boom, boom. Ling Xiao did not reply to the 10 dragon generals. Huge fist imprints shot across the sky like stars. They were so terrifying that even the space around them trembled violently. None of the 10 dragon generals, including the arrogant young man, were a match for Ling Xiao. Even though they were extremely powerful, they were all heavily injured by Ling Xiao. Whoosh! Ling Xiao pointed his finger at the primordial spirits of the 10 dragon generals. His finger radiance was unparalleled, containing a destructive aura. Ling Xiao listened to Long Outyin in the end, and did not destroy the physical bodies of the 10 dragon generals. However, he did not show any mercy. His finger radiance contained the power to destroy the souls of the 10 dragon generals. It was a one-sided slaughter. Soon, the primordial spirits of the 9 dragon generals were destroyed by Ling Xiao. Their huge corpses fell from the sky, emitting terrifying demonic light and killing intent. In the end, only the arrogant young man, who was a frost dragon, was left. Spare me. The arrogant young man's eyes were filled with fear. There was no longer a trace of arrogance in them. At this moment, he was terrified by Ling Xiao's killing. He only wanted to live. If you want to live, hand over a trace of your primordial spirit and acknowledge her as your master. Ling Xiao pointed at Long Xiaoxiao and said indifferently. He could tell that although the frost dragon had acknowledged Aoang, it did not hand over its primordial spirit. It was probably due to the suppression of Aoang's bloodline that it submitted to Aoang. As for the other 9 dragon generals, they had all given their primordial spirits to Aoang. Therefore, Ling Xiao did not show any mercy and killed them all. Yes. Although the arrogant young man was unwilling, he could only hand over a trace of his primordial spirit and acknowledge Long Xiaoxiao as his master in the face of the threat of death. Roar! The arrogant young man shook his body and revealed his frost dragon form. He turned into a huge silver dragon that was 10,000 feet long. He looked majestic and beautiful. Long Xiaoxiao was very happy and thanked Ling Xiao profusely. Thank you, brother Ling Xiao. Long Outyin was a little envious. He looked at the frost chi dragon enviously, then complained to Ling Xiao. Cousin, you were too heavy-handed. Those are the 9 great demon saints. Why didn't you leave me a mount? You're too biased. Brat, do you want this golden winged dragon hawk? If you don't want it, I'll keep it for myself. Ling Xiao waved his sleeves and released the golden winged dragon hawk. He then scolded Long Outyin with a smile. Golden winged dragon hawk? Ha ha. Thank you, cousin. Long Outyin's eyes lit up, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Chapter 2560. What? 9 of the 10 dragon generals are dead, and even the frost dragon has betrayed me? Damn it. I don't care who you are. How dare you go against me? When I refine the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal, you will die. Aoang opened his eyes in the ancient and mysterious palace. His eyes were filled with shock, and he looked ghastly pale. Among the 10 dragon generals, 9 of the demonic sages had sacrificed their natal primordial spirits. Now that the natal primordial spirits had dissipated, it meant that the 9 demonic sages had died. The reason why the frost dragon had not sacrificed its natal primordial spirit was that Aoang had sensed that the frost dragon was close to breaking through to the king sage realm. Therefore, he had not taken the frost dragon's natal primordial spirit. He had wanted to subdue the frost dragon after he had broken through. However, he had not expected the frost dragon to have defected to someone else. Aoang was filled with killing intent and anger. He was shocked. Who were the 3 people who had entered Archosaur Star? Even the 10 dragon generals were no match for them. However, Aoang knew that it was not the time to take revenge. When he gained control of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal, he would be the owner of Archosaur Star. Rumble. A jade seal that glowed with dazzling golden light floated before Aoang. There were 9 divine dragons coiled around it, and they emitted 9-colored divine radiance. The surroundings were branded with the myriad of worlds, a myriad of stars, mountains, rivers, plants, flowers, birds, insects, and fish. It seemed to be noble, dignified, ancient, and mysterious, and even the slightest strand of fluctuation within it seemed capable of obliterating the boundless world. That was the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. The ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal was the supreme authority of the dragon tribe. Legend had it that it was the primordial ancestral dragon's lifelong treasure. It contained vast emperor's might and was extremely powerful. It was famous among the emperor's weapons in the universe. Only the Dragon King could control the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. The reason why the ancestral dragon cave opened this time was because the dragons discovered that the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal had flown back to the cave. This meant that the current dragon monarch had most likely fallen. Otherwise, if the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal was in the hands of the current dragon monarch, the ancestral dragon cave would never be opened. Aoang looked at the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal in front of him, and his eyes were filled with passion. As long as he refined the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal, he would be able to control Archosaur Star completely. The blood chi around Aoang rose, and 9-colored divine clouds filled the air. They kept fusing into the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal, trying to refine it. However, Aoang still felt that the ancestral dragon Jade Seal seemed to reject him. Although it was very close to his ancestral dragon bloodline, there was an extremely unfamiliar power that prevented Aoang from refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. He had stayed here for almost a month, and had only refined 1/10 of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. However, Aoang felt that he could definitely refine the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. The golden-winged dragon eagle had become Long Outyen's mount. Long Outyen was extremely excited, but the golden-winged dragon eagle was extremely depressed. The golden-winged dragon eagle was an ancient mutant, and its cultivation had reached the peak of the Supreme Saint realm. It did not have any complaints about submitting to Ling Xiao, as Ling Xiao was too powerful. He was so powerful that it terrified it. However, it was extremely depressed that it had become the mount of a sage-to-be. It even looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of resentment. However, Ling Xiao ignored it. It was just a golden-winged dragon eagle. Ling Xiao had more than a dozen holy kings under his command, so a golden-winged dragon eagle at the Supreme Saint realm was definitely not a threat to him. Ling Xiao rode on the clouds while Long Outyen rode on the golden-winged dragon eagle. Long Xiaoxiao stood on the icy chi dragon. The group of them flew toward Ancestral Dragon Mountain rapidly. There are 3 tests in Ancestral Dragon Mountain. The first one is called the 10,000 Dragons Platform. The second one is called the Great Way Dragon Gate. And the third one is called the Road of Heaven's Chosen One. Only by passing the 3 tests can one enter the Ancestral Dragon Temple and receive the inheritance of the Ancestral Dragon. The Icy Chi Dragon honestly told Ling Xiao and the other 2 about Ancestral Dragon Mountain. He was the leader of the 10 dragon generals and had followed Aoang into Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Naturally, he had an incomparably detailed understanding of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. According to the Icy Chi Dragon, Aoang had entered Ancestral Dragon Mountain a long time ago and had been there for almost a year. Aoang had used 10 months to pass the 3 views test, and was now attempting to refine the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal in the Ancestral Dragon Temple. That bastard. It seems like he's hiding something behind the scenes. That old bastard Ao Kuang fooled everyone, and sent Aoang into the Ancestral Dragon Cave long ago. We have to speed up. Otherwise, if Aoang refines the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, we'll be done for. Even with Long Xiaoxiao's kind personality, she was infuriated when she heard the icy Qi Dragon's words. She could not help but curse. Ao Kuang and Aoang, this pair of grandfather and grandson, had fooled everyone. How can it be so easy to refine the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal? Aoang did not obtain the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, so it's much more difficult for him to refine the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. We still have a chance to reach Ancestral Dragon Mountain quickly, pass the 3 tests, and compete with Aoang for the right to control the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Long Outyan's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. He had obtained the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture Inheritance, and naturally learned many secrets of the dragon tribe from Ao Sheng Dragon Lord. He vaguely knew that the key to refining the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal was the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. The current Dragon Lord Long Xian had gone missing long ago. Aoang naturally could not have obtained the cultivation technique of the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. Therefore, it would not be easy for him to refine the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Ling Xiao, Long Outyan, and Long Xiaoxiao were extremely fast. It did not take long for them to see Ancestral Dragon Mountain. In front of them was a vast expanse of land. A sacred mountain that was 1,000,000 feet tall stood on the land. It was like a huge dragon roaring at the sky, exuding vast dragon aura. That was Ancestral Dragon Mountain, the core of Archosaur Planet. Ling Xiao, Long Outyan, and Long Xiaoxiao felt an ancient aura surging toward them as soon as they saw Ancestral Dragon Mountain. They felt small and insignificant in front of it. Is this Ancestral Dragon Mountain? The 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain is nothing compared to the Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Long Outyan exclaimed. His eyes were filled with astonishment. Ancestral Dragon Mountain exuded vast Ancestral Dragon aura. Long Outyan felt the Ancestral Dragon bloodline in his body boiling as he stood before Ancestral Dragon Mountain. His aura seemed to resonate with Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Golden Winged Dragon Eagle and Frost Chi Dragon could not fly under such aura. They landed directly on the ground. In front of Ling Xiao, Long Outyan, and Long Xiaoxiao, the Ancestral Dragon Mountain was vast, majestic, and ancient. It exuded an incomparably dense origin energy. A stone staircase extended from the foot of the mountain, all the way to the top of the mountain. Please remember the domain name of this book, Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Mobile version website. Chapter 2561. The 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform. Ling Xiao could see that the stone steps in front of him extended all the way to the peak of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. There were thousands of stone steps, and they exuded a vast dragon aura. It was as if an ancient dragon was coiling around Ancestral Dragon Mountain. This was the 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform, the first test of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Only by reaching the 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform could one pass the first test and proceed to the second test. As the name suggests, the 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform contains 10,000 rays of dragon aura. The higher you go, the stronger the pressure. Only those with the bloodline of the Ancestral Dragon can withstand the 10,000 rays of dragon aura. Otherwise, you won't even be able to pass the first test. The Frost Qilong Dragon said with a tinge of envy in his eyes. Although he had the bloodline of the Divine Dragon, he could only withstand close to 5,000 rays of dragon aura on the 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform before he couldn't proceed any further. However, Ling Xiao, Long Outyan, and Long Xiaoxiao all had the bloodline of the Ancestral Dragon. They would be able to pass the first test in time. 10,000 Dragon Stone Platform? Let me see what 10,000 rays of dragon aura looks like. Long Outyan's eyes shone brightly as he looked forward to it. Other than the Frost Qilong Dragon, the other 9 dragon generals had been killed by Ling Xiao. The flesh and blood essence of their corpses had been refined into 2 Supreme Saint Blood Orbs with Ling Xiao's help and merged into Long Outyan and Long Xiaoxiao's bodies. At this moment, their auras were skyrocketing, and their cultivations were constantly increasing. They were about to touch the bottleneck of the Tao affirmation and Saint realm. Long Outyin could vaguely feel that the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform might be the opportunity for him to become a saint. Let's go. Aoang has passed the third test, and is refining the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. We have to pass the third test as soon as possible. Ling Xiao's eyes sparkled as he took the lead, and stepped onto the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform. Rumble. When Ling Xiao stepped onto the stone steps, he immediately felt the space around him tremble. A vast dragon might press down on him, containing an ancient and mysterious power. The dragon aura made Ling Xiao feel extremely pressured. It seemed to be based on the cultivation of the testi. The stronger the cultivation, the stronger the aura. The surrounding airflow flowed, and blazing divine light rose. Ling Xiao felt that powerful pressure everywhere, constantly pressing down on his body, causing the blood in Ling Xiao's body to begin to boil. Boundless ancestral dragon aura rose, and a transparent dragon-shaped shadow appeared above Ling Xiao's head. However, this level of aura had no effect to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Although he wasn't fast, he was steady. Furthermore, as Ling Xiao continued to walk upwards, the dragon's might around him grew stronger and stronger. The dragon-shaped shadow above his head also began to solidify. Brother has started Dragon Imperial Jade Dragon Jade Seal. Long Outyin said Dragon Imperial Jade Dragon Jade. Long Xiaoxiao nodded, and stepped onto the myriad dragon stone platform with Long Outyin. Boom. Boom. The vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal suppressed Long Outyin and Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. This level of aura didn't have much effect on Ling Xiao, but to Long Outyin and Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, it was quite a bit of pressure. The two of them had yet to become saints, so their bodies were still lacking. The vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal began to press on their bodies, condensing the saint energy in their bodies. Under the Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, their aura began to grow stronger. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao stood on the first stone step with their eyes closed. They were carefully comprehending the vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Ling Xiao didn't stop, and he walked up step by step. He knew that the 1,000 Dragon Imperial Jade Seal was a great opportunity for Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao. It might be able to strengthen their foundation, and they might even become saints. However, it didn't have much effect on Ling Xiao. When Ling Xiao stood on the 10,000 stone step, the dragon shadow above his head suddenly let out a clear dragon roar, resounding through the void. It completely solidified and turned into a 10,000 feet long 9-colored divine dragon, exuding a vast aura. Rumble. It was as if millions of lightning bolts fell from the sky. The vast aura merged into Ling Xiao's blood, making him more majestic and mysterious. Ling Xiao vaguely felt that the vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal was very beneficial to his cultivation of the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. It was as long as he merged it into his body, the cultivation speed of the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture would skyrocket. However, Ling Xiao didn't cultivate the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. He vaguely felt that it wasn't complete, and that it wasn't his true path. With the vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal above his head, Ling Xiao walked up again. As Ling Xiao walked up the Ancestral Dragon Mountain, he gradually understood that the 10,000 stone steps could condense a vast Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Only by condensing 10,000 Dragon Imperial Jade Seals could Ling Xiao step onto the peak of the Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Just one Dragon Imperial Jade Seal was enough to make Ling Xiao feel very pressured. It was obvious how terrifying 10,000 Dragon Imperial Jade Seals were. As Ling Xiao walked up, he could no longer see Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao at the foot of the mountain. Ling Xiao didn't intend to help them. This was their opportunity and fortune, and also a test for them. They had to walk up the myriad dragonstone platform step by step. Clouds and mist drifted around, and chaotic light appeared. There was a mysterious scene of the creation of heaven and earth. Ling Xiao could feel that the scene around him was a mark of time and space imprinted on the ancestral Dragon Mountain. It was left behind by the experts in the past. It contained a trace of great path law, which was very beneficial to Ling Xiao's cultivation. Ling Xiao could feel that his cultivation realm had begun to slowly increase. Ling Xiao's previous accumulation had almost been used up to break through to the Great Saint realm. In addition, his accumulation was extremely strong, and his foundation was unparalleled. It was 100 times or even 1,000 times stronger than an ordinary Great Saint expert. Therefore, it was much harder for him to increase his cultivation than an ordinary Great Saint. However, on the ancestral Dragon Mountain, Ling Xiao felt that his comprehension of the Great Path Law had begun to increase by leaps and bounds. Roar! As Ling Xiao stepped onto the 20,000 stone steps, the wind and clouds above his head changed. Divine light surged and transformed into a vast dragon imperial jade seal. It tempered Ling Xiao's body while helping Ling Xiao comprehend the marks of the Great Path Law on the ancestral Dragon Mountain. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2562. The Great Saint Realm was the process of the Saintly Way source root evolving towards the Saintly Way tree. During this process, one needed to absorb the energy of heaven and earth, and comprehend the Heavenly Way nomological laws of the universe. Just like how a root needed to sprout, it needed the Heavenly Way nomological laws as nourishment. The stronger the Heavenly Way nomological laws were comprehended, the stronger one's cultivation and combat strength would be. Ling Xiao felt that his comprehension speed of the Heavenly Way nomological laws on ancestral Dragon Mountain was getting faster and faster as the dragon force condensed above his head. Condensing 1 dragon force, comprehension speed 10 times faster. Condensing 2 dragon forces, cultivation speed 20 times faster. Condensing 10 dragon forces, cultivation speed 100 times faster. Ling Xiao climbed up ancestral Dragon Mountain. His footsteps were not fast, but they were very steady and contained a strange rhythm. Ling Xiao did not even take the initiative to climb up, but was doing it subconsciously. There was a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. His entire body was surrounded by purple light. He looked translucent and incomparably clear, without a speck of dust. He emitted an immortal luster. The Heavenly Way nomological laws around him seemed to be solid as they lingered around Ling Xiao. The blazing flames, the flexibility of water, the vitality of wood, the sharpness of metal, the heaviness of earth, the lightness of wind, the explosion of thunder, the coldness of ice. All kinds of origin source nomological laws of different attributes were surrounding Ling Xiao, and began to gather in his body. Above his head, dragon forces condensed and exuded a vast and powerful aura. 100 dragon forces, 200 dragon forces, 500 dragon forces, 1,000 dragon forces. Ling Xiao's footsteps did not stop at all. His comprehension speed of the nomological laws was getting faster and faster. After Ling Xiao condensed 1,000 dragon forces, his comprehension speed of the Heavenly Way nomological laws had become 10,000 times faster. Even though Ling Xiao had accumulated a lot of experience, his cultivation realm began to skyrocket under the 10,000 times faster comprehension speed. The ancestral dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body surged. Blood qi seeped out of his meridians and condensed into phantoms of divine dragons around him. They formed a mysterious resonance with the dragon might above his head. 3 days later, Ling Xiao condensed 3,000 dragon forces. 6 days later, Ling Xiao condensed 6,000 dragon forces. 9 days later, Ling Xiao condensed 9,000 dragon forces. If Aoang, the Frosthorn dragon, and the others saw this, they would be shocked beyond words. Ling Xiao only used 9 days to gather 9,000 rays of dragon power. He was about to pass through the 10,000 dragon stone platform and reach the peak of the ancestral Dragon Mountain. On the other hand, it took Aoang 3 months to condense 9,000 rays of dragon's might. He even used a powerful secret technique of the dragon clan to do it. Ling Xiao continued to walk step by step towards the top of the mountain. He did not stop at all. The aura around him was ethereal and mysterious. The vast laws of the Heavenly Way seemed to be solid, condensing into the image of a mysterious world. 10 days later, there were 9,999 streaks of dragon's might above Ling Xiao's head. Each streak of dragon's might was a 9-colored divine dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. They looked extremely lifelike, and their auras were extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao looked like a peerless dragon emperor, exuding a vast aura as if he could dominate everything. The 10,000th ray of dragon aura had become extremely solid. Ling Xiao was only one step away from reaching the top of Ancestral Dragon Mountain and passing the test of the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform. Ling Xiao suddenly stopped. Purple divine light surged around his body. The Hong Meng immortal body allowed him to possess a peerless physical strength. At this moment, his flesh and blood were crystal clear, and his meridians were as tough and powerful as divine dragons. In this short period of 10 days, Ling Xiao's realm actually rushed directly to the Great Sage Perfection in one go. Although his realm had only reached the Great Sage Perfection realm, Ling Xiao's cultivation could break through to the Great Sage Perfection realm very quickly as long as he could devour enough energy of heaven and earth. Once one's realm was reached, one's cultivation level would naturally be achieved naturally. Ling Xiao stood there. The surrounding chaotic aura surged, and the vast laws of the heavenly way lingered and surged into his body. Ling Xiao's eyes were slightly closed, and there was a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. He looked solemn. This was a mysterious state of enlightenment. His entire being was ethereal and clear, and he was naturally integrated with the laws of the heavenly way. Ling Xiao had been in this state for 3 days and 3 nights. The 9,999 rays of dragon aura above his head became more and more terrifying. At this moment, even a king sage would be crushed to dust if he were to stand there. After 3 days and 3 nights, Ling Xiao opened his eyes, and there was a faint smile in his eyes. All the heavenly ways returned to chaos. Today, I finally know who I am. Ling Xiao's voice was faint and ethereal. He slowly walked forward and stepped onto the last stone step. Roar! A vast dragon roar was heard, and the 10,000th ray of dragon aura appeared above Ling Xiao's head. Tens of thousands of divine dragons roared at the top of Ancestral Dragon Mountain at the same time, and the dragon roar reverberated throughout the entire Ancestral Dragon Star. Every living thing on Ancestral Dragon Star was trembling in fear. Rumble! Purple chi rose around Ling Xiao, and the tens of thousands of acupuncture points on his body were glowing. Suddenly, a vast devouring power burst out, and devoured the tens of thousands of rays of dragon aura above his head. Blazing bolts of lightning rose from his body as crackling sounds rang out from his body. Purple mist rose up, spreading out for 15 million kilometers in a mighty manner, making him seem even more dignified and ethereal. If anyone could see, they would discover that Ling Xiao's saintly way origin root had turned into a small sapling. The sapling had 3,000 roots that merged into the myriad realms and continuously devoured the power of the heavenly way nomological laws. This was a sign that he was about to become a king sage. The 10,000 Dragon Stone platform is indeed a great creation. Ling Xiao sighed, and there was a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. He had not expected the tens of thousands of rays of dragon aura from the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform to increase the speed of his comprehension of the laws of heaven by 100,000 times. His cultivation level began to soar, and he reached Great Saint Realm completion without any obstacles. Although his strength was still at initial stage Great Saint Realm, his cultivation level had reached Great Saint Realm completion. As long as he had enough energy, he would be able to raise his cultivation level. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt that his primordial immortal body had undergone some strange changes. It was as though it was filled with life. After devouring the tens of thousands of rays of dragon aura, it began to transform into a mysterious state. Ling Xiao had only intended to escort Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao into Ancestral Dragon Cave, but he had not expected to receive such a great creation. With the addition of the tens of thousands of rays of dragon aura from the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform, the speed of his comprehension of the laws of heaven was increased by 100,000 times. This had saved Ling Xiao 1,000 years of hard work. From then on, he would be able to reach King Sage Realm smoothly. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2563. The Peak of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. Ling Xiao stood on the 10,000 Dragon Stone platform, radiating with an ancient, mysterious, and vast dragon might. It made him look even more majestic. The clouds around him were misty, and chaotic light lingered around. Two ancient doors appeared before Ling Xiao, radiating with powerful dragon might, causing the space around him to shake violently. Two mysterious nine-colored dragons coiled around the ancient doors. They looked lifelike, as if they would come to life at any moment. Is this the Great Way Dragon Gate? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. After passing the 10,000 Dragons Stone Platforms test, information about the Great Way Dragon Gate automatically appeared in his mind. The Great Way Dragon Gate was a mysterious door that led to the hinterland of ancestral Dragon Mountain. One had to blast open the Great Way Dragon Gate to pass the second test. And to blast open the Great Way Dragon Gate, one had to comprehend the Great Way Law with their own ancestral dragon bloodline, and form a resonance with ancestral Dragon Mountain. And when one blasted open the Great Way Dragon Gate, the Great Way Law would descend, giving one a chance to be reborn. It would cleanse the body, strengthen the origin, and strengthen the physical strength. Ling Xiao immediately sat down before the Great Way Dragon Gate. Rumble. The ancestral dragon bloodline around him rumbled, and the space around him shook violently. Vast vital energy rose up, radiating nine-colored divine light, and slowly permeated towards ancestral Dragon Mountain. Ling Xiao stared at the two mysterious dragons above the Great Way Dragon Gate. His eyes flashed, and he seemed to have sunk into a state of enlightenment. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, there seemed to be an explosion of chaos, and an ancient and mysterious world appeared. A dragon's roar sounded in the chaos, as if it was the light of the creation of the world. One black and one white intertwined, and two mysterious dragons appeared in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. Is this the immemorial ancestral dragon? Ling Xiao was shocked. The immemorial ancestral dragon's most primitive state was actually a black dragon and a white dragon. They contained the power of yin and yang, and were extremely mysterious. The two dragons intertwined with each other, as if they were formed by the Great Way Law. Their scales, whiskers, claws, and bodies were all intertwined with the Great Way Law, transforming into mysterious runes. Vaguely, Ling Xiao felt as if he had transformed into the primordial ancestral dragon, creating a new world in the primordial chaos, becoming the overlord of billions of living beings, sweeping through the heavens and invincible in the myriad of worlds. Suddenly, mysterious scriptures appeared in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. That's the secret skill of the ancestral dragon? Light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. The secret skill of the ancestral dragon seemed to contain the mystery of the ancestral dragon's creation. It was the source of the ancestral dragon's power, and the foundation of the great path. It became more and more majestic, as if the ancestral dragon was singing in Ling Xiao's ears. Ling Xiao was enveloped by the vast Great Tao principles. His ancestral dragon bloodline rose and formed a mysterious resonance with ancestral Dragon Mountain. Resplendent inscriptions condensed before Ling Xiao's forehead, vaguely forming a mysterious dragon of laws. It radiated with an ancient and powerful presence. It was the dragon of law that was unconsciously condensed from the secret skill of the ancestral dragon. It was also the supreme great Tao that was formed after Ling Xiao cultivated the secret skill of the ancestral dragon to perfection. Rumble. The extremely sturdy Great Path Dragon Gate was filled with an immortal luster. However, under the impact of the Dragon of Law, it suddenly opened. A primitive and ancient presence gushed out of the gate. In an instant, the Dragon of Law shattered and turned into a resplendent rain of light. The primal force gushing out of the Great Way Dragon Gate surged towards Ling Xiao in an instant. It was like an endless wave, gushing towards his acupuncture points and rapidly scouring his body. It was as if the primordial aura that had been accumulated for countless years contained the power of the ancestral dragon. It was incomparably powerful, causing Ling Xiao's body to emit a resplendent purple glow. Mysterious dragon spirits seemed to be born in his acupuncture points, causing Ling Xiao's aura to become even more ancient. This was the creation after opening the Great Path Dragon Gate. It was also the energy that the ancestral Dragon Mountain had accumulated for countless years. Ling Xiao could feel that his physical body had begun to strengthen slowly. Even his cultivation had begun to rise slowly. Such majestic energy was enough to elevate an ordinary great saint to the great sage perfection realm in one go. However, Ling Xiao's accumulation was too strong. Not only had he condensed the primordial immortal body, but he had also reached the unprecedented 4 saint realms. Therefore, it only elevated Ling Xiao by a small realm. The bloodline of the ancestral dragon can actually elevate my primordial immortal body further? But it's still not enough. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. He felt that as the bloodline of the ancestral dragon in his body grew stronger, his primordial immortal body also became stronger. Now he could easily suppress a great saint. Even an ordinary saint king could be suppressed by the primordial immortal body. However, this was still not his limit. This is only the effect of the bloodline of the ancestral dragon. If I can obtain the bloodlines of the other 4 great sacred clans, it may be able to further elevate my primordial immortal body. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of enlightenment. He seemed to have seen the hope of elevating his primordial immortal body. The primordial immortal body was a peerless physique formed when Ling Xiao comprehended the chaos origin at the brink of death. He used the wordless heavenly book and the creation jade disc as the foundation to integrate them into his physical body. However, the wordless heavenly book and the creation jade disc were both chaos treasures. Ling Xiao's primordial immortal body was far from being able to unleash the power of the chaos treasures. He needed to further elevate his primordial immortal body and integrate the power of the chaos treasures. Ling Xiao believed that one day, his primordial immortal body would be as strong as the chaos treasures, or even surpass them. When that time came, perhaps even the great emperors could suppress him. Ling Xiao suppressed his chaotic emotions and walked into the great Dao Dragon Gate. Rumble. Once Ling Xiao entered the Great Wei Dragon Gate, the 2 ancient stone doors slammed shut again. Chaotic mist filled Ling Xiao's vision as scorching light rose up. It was like a mysterious scene had appeared before him before slowly dispersing in the end. Ling Xiao appeared at the intersection of countless paths. In front of him, paths seemed to be opened up in the chaos. They meandered forward, leading to an unknown destination. However, they emitted a faint light, giving people hope. Ling Xiao stood at the starting point. There were countless paths in front of him. He was destined to only choose one path. Is this the road of heaven's chosen? Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2564. The third stage, the Path of Heaven's Chosen. The Path of Heaven's Chosen was the last of the 3 stages of the ancestral Dragon Mountain. Countless paths led to the depths of the primal chaos, but only one path led to the core of the ancestral Dragon Mountain, the ancestral Dragon Palace. Only by choosing the right path could one be called the Path of Heaven's Chosen. After passing the final test, one could head to the ancestral Dragon Palace to receive the final inheritance. The Path of Heaven's Chosen, as the name implied, was a path chosen by the heavens. Only those with great luck, great opportunities, and great fortune could choose the right path among the thousands of paths. Ling Xiao didn't wait for Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao. He planned to pass the 3 stages first and head to the ancestral Dragon Palace to stop Aoang from refining the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. The primal chaos mist lingered in front of Ling Xiao. It looked calm and peaceful. Paths led to the depths of the primal chaos. Even with Ling Xiao's cultivation, he couldn't see through which path was the most correct one. The Path of Heaven's Chosen? I am the chosen one of this epoch. What a coincidence that I have ascended the Path of Heaven's Chosen. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. Although he couldn't see through the thousands of paths in front of him which one was real and which one was fake, he vaguely felt that these thousands of paths gave him a very peculiar feeling. It was as if there was something in front of him that was attracting him. How did Aoang enter the ancestral Dragon Palace? Ling Xiao secretly pondered. Even he couldn't see through the Path of Heaven's Chosen. He didn't think that Aoang was stronger than him. Since I can't see through it, I don't need to choose. I am the chosen one, so the path I walk is naturally the Path of Heaven's Chosen. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. His eyes shone with confidence. Rumble. He took a step forward and didn't choose any path. Instead, he walked forward based on his heart. A resplendent light bloomed in front of Ling Xiao's eyes. When he casually stepped on a primal chaos ancient path, primal chaos light surged around him. The thousands of paths all disappeared, leaving only the primal chaos ancient path in front of Ling Xiao. Desolate, lonely, ancient, and mysterious. This was the feeling Ling Xiao got from the primal chaos ancient path in front of him. He stepped on the path and disappeared into the primal chaos without any hesitation. Roar. An earth-shattering roar was heard in front of Ling Xiao. A gigantic chaotic divine demon appeared, exuding an ominous aura. It looked like a white tiger, and its eyes were filled with blood-red killing intent as it pounced towards Ling Xiao. This chaotic godfiend was extremely real and wasn't an illusion. Even Ling Xiao felt immense pressure from it. Kill. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. His blood essence surged as he threw a punch at the chaotic divine demon before him. Ling Xiao had the primordial immortal body, and his physical body was extremely strong. Every move he made contained vast great Tao laws, and was extremely domineering. The chaotic divine demon in front of him also seemed to specialize in physical body, and started an intense battle with Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had never met such a powerful opponent before. Although the opponent's cultivation level was similar to his battle strength was extremely ferocious. In the end, Ling Xiao fought with the chaotic divine demon for over 1,000 rounds before finally killing him. Rumble. After the chaotic divine demon was killed, it instantly turned into a mysterious mark and merged with the chaotic ancient road beneath Ling Xiao's feet. Just like that, Ling Xiao walked forward step by step. He didn't know what was in front of him, but more and more chaotic divine demons appeared and started an intense battle with Ling Xiao. This was a blood-stained chaotic ancient road. Ling Xiao fought until he went crazy and fought with countless chaotic divine demons. Countless chaotic divine demon marks merged with the chaotic ancient road, causing it to become clearer and more solid. In the end, the surrounding chaos seemed to have changed. The endless chaos mist condensed into a gigantic dragon that was billions of miles long. A powerful dragon roar was heard from the chaos. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the primal chaos, shattering the primal chaos in an instant. Blazing light erupted from the primal chaos. Then clear energy rose into the sky while turbid energy sank into the ground. The primal chaos created a new world. The grand Tao laws began to divide into yin and yang, the 5 elements, and the myriad phenomena of wind and thunder. Ling Xiao experienced the creation of the chaos, saw the evolution of yin and yang, witnessed the birth of the 5 elements, and saw a vibrant world appear in the chaos. Ling Xiao saw the ancient mythological epoch. Countless divine beasts roared in the sky and fought on the ground. Billions of races stood in great numbers and fought with each other for the position of the overlord of the world. Ling Xiao also saw how the human race was born in the beginning. They had endured hardships to reach where they were today. They gradually grew stronger and stronger, and countless experts began to appear. Ling Xiao also saw the cycle of epochs, the birth and destruction of worlds. The mysteries of heaven and earth and the laws of the universe appeared before him. In the end, Ling Xiao gradually understood. The ancient road of primal chaos was like a river of time, from the beginning of the primal chaos, to the creation of the world, to the evolution of all living things, to the beginning of epochs, to the end of epochs, to the end of epochs, to the evolution of endless worlds. Just like the 4 seasons of a year, there was spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This world was born, grew, prospered, weakened, and finally was destroyed. Ling Xiao was like a person who had experienced time. He saw the evolution of the chaos. This isn't from my perspective. Could this be the memories of the primordial ancestral dragon? In the end, Ling Xiao couldn't help but tremble. He broke away from that mysterious realm, and his eyes revealed an incomparably shocked expression. Unknowingly, he had already reached the end of the chaotic ancient road. In front of him appeared an ancient and enormous bronze temple. It emitted a vast and desolate aura, as if it had already existed since the beginning of the world. The ancestral dragon temple. Ling Xiao almost instantly determined that this bronze temple in front of him was the ancestral dragon temple. It turned out that he had already unknowingly walked out of the road of heaven's chosen. That chaotic ancient road didn't seem like some kind of test. It was more like a scene in the memories left behind by the ancestral dragon. It seemed to want to tell latecomers some information. However, Ling Xiao still didn't know what the ancestral dragon had left behind. What a mysterious road of heavens chosen! If the primordial ancestral dragon experienced the beginning of the chaos, could it be that the primordial ancestral dragon was also a divine demon born in the chaos? Ling Xiao thought inwardly. Many doubts emerged in his heart. He vaguely felt that the primordial ancestral dragon was more mysterious than he had imagined. However, Ling Xiao didn't think too much about it. His gaze fell on the bronze temple in front of him, revealing a trace of sharpness. Aoang should be refining the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal in the ancestral dragon temple right now, right? The ancestral dragon imperial jade seal must not fall into his hands. Ling Xiao suppressed the many doubts and puzzlement in his heart. In an instant, he emitted an incomparably powerful aura and flew directly towards the ancestral dragon temple. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2565. The ancestral dragon temple looked like it was located on the ancestral dragon mountain, but it was surrounded by chaotic mist, divine light, and auspicious vapors. It looked like a celestial emperor's palace. Ling Xiao leaped across the sky, like a golden lightning, and instantly rushed into the ancestral dragon temple. Rumble. After entering the ancestral dragon temple, Ling Xiao immediately saw the center of the ancestral dragon temple. Primal chaos light surged, and a golden ancient seal with 9 dragons coiled around it floated up and down, exuding an ancient, boundless, and mysterious aura. Vast Emperor's aura exuded from the ancient seal, as if it could crush the heavens and shatter millions of voids. Ling Xiao could see that the 9 dragons were exuding 9 rays of divine light. They looked lifelike, as if they would come to life at any time. Their eyes were incomparably lively, exuding an indifferent and majestic aura. Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Ling Xiao almost immediately determined that this ancient seal was the supreme authority of the dragon clan, the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Under the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, there was a handsome young man sitting cross-legged. He seemed to be surrounded by blood qi, exuding 9 rays of light, as if it had turned into 9 dragons coiling around him, exuding a terrifying aura. This young man's cultivation base had reached the Great Saint Perfection realm, and his aura was terrifying. At this moment, powerful rays of light shot out from between his eyebrows. That was the vast and unparalleled power of the spirit, which was entwining around the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, wanting to refine it. This guy is Aoang, right? His ancestral dragon bloodline is so powerful? Even the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal has been refined by him by 90%. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he instantly determined the identity of this young man. He was most likely Ao Kuang's grandson, the peerless genius of the dragon clan, Aoang. What Ling Xiao didn't expect was that Aoang had already refined 90% of the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. He was only 10% away from completely refining the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Moreover, Ling Xiao discovered that Aoang's blood vitality was surging violently, forming a mysterious resonance with the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal sprinkled down strands of Extreme Emperor's aura around Aoang, forming an incomparably powerful defensive barrier. If Ling Xiao attacked Aoang at this moment, it was very likely that it would trigger a backlash from the Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal. 90%? He was not too late. There was still a chance. Aoang didn't obtain the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, which is why his refining speed is so slow. I have the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture with me, so I might be able to snatch the control of the Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal from his hands. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He wanted to kill Aoang as soon as possible and snatch the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. However, he couldn't do anything to Aoang in the current situation. The only way was to snatch the control of the Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal from Aoang's hands. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he immediately sat down on the other side of the Ancestral Dragon Hall. 9 rays of divine light circled between his eyebrows as vast power of his soul surged out, surging towards the Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal in an instant. Roar! A majestic dragon roar erupted from Ling Xiao's body as his ancestral dragon bloodline completely erupted. An aura that wasn't any weaker than Ao Eng's erupted from his body. He wanted to snatch the control of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. He possesses the ancestral dragon bloodline and is in the Great Saint realm. Who is he? When Ling Xiao appeared in the ancestral dragon hall, Aoang also noticed Ling Xiao. However, he was at the critical moment of refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal, so he wasn't distracted. Ling Xiao couldn't do anything to him at this moment. As long as he completely refined the ancestral dragon Jade Seal, he would be the true dragon monarch of the dragon clan. No matter who Ling Xiao was, his life and death would be in his hands. Aoang increased the speed of refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. However, Ao Eng's expression changed drastically. His body trembled, and his face was filled with disbelief. Rumble. The ancestral dragon Jade Seal trembled violently in the void as Ling Xiao's powerful primordial spirit joined in. It was like 9 dragons coiling around the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. Aoang had already refined 90% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. Even if Ling Xiao wanted to refine the ancestral dragon Jade Seal, he didn't care. However, he didn't expect Ling Xiao to undergo such an unimaginable change as soon as he started refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. A majestic dragon roar shook the void as the ancestral dragon Jade Seal trembled violently. Ling Xiao began to circulate the ancestral dragon secret technique and the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. Ling Xiao had already discovered the connection between the ancestral dragon secret technique and the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. At this moment, the speed of refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal skyrocketed. In almost a moment, Ling Xiao had refined 10% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. How is this possible? No. He actually cultivated the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture? Ao Eng's eyes were filled with shock. The speed at which Ling Xiao refined the ancestral dragon Jade Seal was thousands of times faster than him. However, he instantly sensed the ancient and mysterious aura from Ling Xiao. It was the legendary Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. But how did Ling Xiao obtain the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture? When the current dragon monarch Long Xian disappeared, even Long Xiaoxiao didn't have the time to obtain the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. How did this mysterious stranger obtain it? Aoang couldn't figure out how Ling Xiao obtained it from the previous Ao Sheng dragon monarch. The Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. But Aoang knew that he was in big trouble. The Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture was the key to refining the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stayed in the ancestral dragon temple for a few months, only to refine 90% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. And this was because he had devoured Ao Kuan's ancestral dragon bloodline. If Aoang had obtained the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, he would have already controlled the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. Rumble. Aoang had refined 90% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal, while Ling Xiao had refined 10%. Their primordial spirits instantly began to fight for control of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. Aoang was shocked to find that as Ling Xiao circulated the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, he was actually losing control of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. No matter how hard Aoang tried to circulate his ancestral dragon bloodline, Ling Xiao quickly took control of another 10% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal from his hands. Ling Xiao had already refined 20% of the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. The speed was too fast. Ao Eng's face instantly turned ugly. A feeling that things were out of his control surged in his heart. The ancestral dragon Jade Seal is mine. The position of dragon monarch is also mine. No matter who you are, you're dead meat. Aoang gritted his teeth. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Chapter 2566. He felt a great threat from Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had the Chaos Ancestor Dragon Scripture. If this continued, Ling Xiao would take control of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal away from him. By then he would definitely die. You forced me to do this. Since you want to take my ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal away, you can go to hell. Aoang roared furiously. In an instant, A dazzling divine light shone from between his eyebrows. The vast power of his primordial spirit erupted and detonated the Emperor's aura he had left in the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Boom! In the void, the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal shook violently. Aoang still had control over 80% of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. At this moment, he detonated the Emperor's power in the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal without caring about anything else. It caused the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal to go berserk and set off a vast amount of energy. Aoang and Ling Zhao's primordial spirits were sucked out of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Brat, you are dead meat. You have ruined my plan. This time, no one can save you. Aoang jumped up from the ground and opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as he stared at Ling Zhao. His heart was bleeding. He had refined 90% of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal over the past few months. Given a few more days, he might be able to completely refine the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Although he did not have the inheritance of the Primal Chaos Ancestor Dragon Scripture, he would be able to obtain the inheritance of the Primal Chaos Ancestor Dragon Scripture, as long as he refined the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. By then, the situation would be set. Even a saint ruler would be killed by him, let alone a mere supreme saint. However, all his efforts had been destroyed by Ling Zhao. You must be Aoang? You have just broken through to the Great Sage Realm. It seems like you have gained a lot of benefits in Archosaur Star. However, you have the ancestral dragon bloodline. Why did you choose to betray the dragon tribe? With your cultivation, I can't think of a reason why Long Xian would not pass the position of the Dragon King to you. You are too anxious. Ling Zhao looked at Aoang curiously. Even though the eruption of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal had reduced his and Aoang's efforts to refine the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal to zero, it had no effect on Ling Zhao. He had already verified the effects of the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon, Imperial Jade Seal. It was indeed the key to refining the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Long Xiang will pass the position of Dragon Monarch to me? Haha. Long Xian is a hypocrite. Who in the Dragon Clan doesn't know that he dotes on Long Xiaoxiao? It's impossible for him to pass the Dragon Monarch position to me. He wants Long Xiaoxiao to become the Dragon Monarch. But only I can lead the dragon race and restore the dragon race to its former glory. Long Xiaoxiao cannot do it. Aoang laughed out loud. His eyes were filled with madness. He had long been dissatisfied with Long Xian and Long Xiaoxiao. In Aoang's eyes, he was the #1 prodigy of the dragon race. Even though there were 3 ancestral dragon bloodlines in the dragon race, Long Xiaoxiao and Ao Kuan were still young while he had already proven his Dao and become a saint. However, Long Xian still hadn't chosen a successor for the Dragon Monarch position. This caused him to harbor resentment, and he believed that Long Xian wanted Long Xiaoxiao to become the Dragon Monarch. So after Long Xian went missing, he and his grandfather Ao Kuang brazenly launched a coup. You think too highly of yourself. The dragon race is now weak and ranked at the bottom of the 5 sacred races. We don't even have an Emperor realm expert. The Dragon Monarch position has long been unworthy of its name. What the dragon race needs now is unity and not internal strife. You will only drag the dragon race to eternal damnation. Ling Zhao said indifferently. Eternal damnation? Aha. It's just the winner taking all. I've become the Dragon Monarch, and I will naturally lead the Dragon Monarch to prosperity. If I fail, who cares if he dies? Who exactly are you? You're only in the Great Saint realm, yet you possess such a rich dragon bloodline, and the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. Could it be that you're the illegitimate son of that old man Long Xian? Aoang's eyes revealed a trace of suspicion as he stared at Ling Zhao. Ling Zhao's face instantly darkened. When did he become Long Xian's illegitimate son? You don't need to know who I am. Anyway, you're going to die soon. If nothing goes wrong, your grandfather should be dead by now. Soon, you will be able to accompany him in the underworld. Ling Zhao said indifferently. My grandfather? Impossible. My grandfather is a supreme sage king. Who in the dragon race can kill him? Kid, you're just in the intermediate Great Saint realm. How dare you speak so arrogantly here? Forget it, I'll kill you and take your primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. I can also refine the ancestral dragon imperial seal. Aoang's body trembled. Then killing intent flashed in his eyes as he sneered. It's up to you to believe it or not. Come on, this is your only chance. Ling Xiao said noncommittally. You're courting death. Aoang's blood chi rose and the killing intent in his eyes seemed to have materialized. He instantly roared and threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Aoang also knew that this was his only chance. Only by killing Ling Xiao and obtaining the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture could he refine the ancestral dragon imperial seal. Boom. The chi and blood around Aoang's body surged violently, as if it was about to combust. In an instant, the entire ancestral dragon palace shook. His huge fist imprint exploded, and it was as if a huge dragon claw was grabbing towards Ling Xiao. Ancestral dragon star plucking hand. This was a powerful emperor technique of the dragon race. Although Aoang did not cultivate the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture, he still obtained a lot of the supreme inheritance of the dragon race. This ancestral dragon star plucking hand was one of the most powerful emperor techniques. The huge dragon claw looked incomparably fierce. It was surrounded by 9-colored divine clouds. There were runes rising and condensed from blood chi. However, it seemed to have materialized. It was as if it instantly passed through layers of void and plucked the 9 heaven stars. It was extremely domineering. Come on! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and lit up instantly. Aoang was indeed the #1 sky pride of the dragon race. Not only had his cultivation reached the great saint realm perfection, but his combat strength was also extremely terrifying. This ancestral dragon star plucking hand was a supreme emperor technique, and he had cultivated it to the minor accomplishment realm. With this move, even an ordinary great saint king could be killed by him directly. Aoang was considered an invincible sky pride in the same realm. This ancestral dragon star plucking hand was indeed extremely powerful. But unfortunately he encountered Ling Xiao. Boom. 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 Ling Xiao's blood chi was like a rainbow, causing the surrounding void to vibrate violently. He blasted out hundreds of punches in an instant. Each fist print condensed into a golden mountain, pressing down mightily. However, the ancestral dragon star plucking hand was extremely domineering. It actually shattered all the hundreds of fist prints that Ling Xiao blasted out, and then collided with Ling Xiao fiercely. Boom. Blazing divine light rose. Although Ling Xiao had the Hongmeng immortal body and his physical body was unparalleled, after colliding with Aoang's claw, he could not help but tremble. Both of them were sent flying at the same time. Chapter 2567. What a powerful emperor technique. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he exclaimed in admiration. Aoang's ancestral dragon star plucking hand contained an extremely powerful force. It was actually able to send Ling Xiao flying and block Ling Xiao's primordial immortal body. Aoang was indeed very strong. He was no weaker than a saint ruler. On the other hand, Aoang was even more shocked. He was a few levels higher than Ling Xiao, and the ancestral dragon star plucking palm was a powerful emperor technique. However, Ling Xiao was able to fight him to a standstill with just the strength of his physical body. Kill. The murderous intent in Aoang's eyes intensified. The blood and chi in his body rose, and he pounced on Ling Xiao like a bolt of golden lightning. His vast dragon power suppressed Ling Xiao, and his sharp dragon claws attacked Ling Xiao's vital points continuously. A dragon's roar exploded from Aoang's body. It contained an ancient and boundless aura. In an instant, 2 9-colored divine dragons rose up and floated behind him, making him look even more majestic and mysterious. His attacks were extremely sharp. The ancestral dragon star-picking hand seemed to be able to pierce through the void and pluck out Ling Xiao's heart. It was extremely powerful. Boom. Ling Xiao's eyes surged with battle intent. Purple chi rose around him as he charged towards Aoang. Purple fist prints rose 30,000 miles. And each punch was able to unleash an attack that was no weaker than a saint ruler's. This was the domineering power of the primordial immortal body. It allowed Ling Xiao to possess a body that was even stronger and more terrifying than Aoang's. Gotcha. Lightning seemed to explode as the two exchanged blows. Bolts of lightning rose and chaotic mist filled the air. The entire ancestral dragon temple trembled violently. If it weren't for the sturdiness of the ancestral dragon temple, it would have been blown apart by the shockwaves from the two's exchange. Ling Xiao and Aoang seemed to have turned into two balls of light, one purple and one gold. They constantly collided in the void and erupted with terrifying vitality that seemed to be able to tear the sky apart. Although Aoang's ancestral dragon star-picking hand was powerful, it was blocked by Ling Xiao's physical strength. He couldn't believe it and his eyes were filled with shock and anger. How dare you claim to be the current dragon monarch with your meager strength? Ling Xiao smirked coldly. His attacks were extremely casual. Purple qi rose around him, and the qi and blood in his body churned. The fight with Aoang had caused his body to erupt with extremely terrifying power. The purple aura around Ling Xiao condensed and formed a powerful purple vortex that contained the power to devour everything. The ancestral dragon star-picking hand was extremely domineering, but the power of qi and blood that escaped was all devoured by the purple vortex. After I kill you, you'll know if I'm qualified to become the current dragon monarch. Aoang's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent, and his attacks were getting fiercer. Rumble. He soared into the sky and the vast ancestral dragon bloodline in his body surged. It was as if all of it had erupted, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. A power that seemed to be able to tear the sky completely erupted. Behind Aoang, the ancestral dragon bloodline condensed into a huge dragon claw that was filled with endless chaotic qi. It seemed to be able to destroy everything. In an instant, it rumbled and clawed at Ling Xiao. This seemed to be a forbidden technique of the ancestral dragon star-picking hand. It seemed to have summoned the power of the Archean ancestral dragon. This attack contained an extremely vast emperor's aura that seemed to be able to tear everything apart. Under this attack, Ling Xiao felt a great threat. It was as if his physical body could be torn apart by this dragon claw. This is getting interesting. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. He could see that Aoang had completely unleashed his strongest power. Rumble. A transcendent and ethereal aura suddenly erupted from Ling Xiao's body. It was as if a chaotic river of time was circling around him. The vast power of time rose and condensed at his fingertip, turning into an extremely sharp finger radiance that was extremely terrifying. Age Destruction Finger. Ling Xiao shouted softly. In an instant he pointed his finger at Aoang and pressed it down. This was one of the most powerful emperor arts of the Flowing Time Great Emperor. In the past, the Flowing Time Great Emperor had left a full power attack on Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could still remember it vividly. Although this attack wasn't as terrifying as a great emperor's attack, it already contained some of the true meaning of the Supreme Emperor Dao. Rumble. The huge finger radiance expanded in the void. In an instant, it was like a divine pillar that reached the sky. It pressed down mightily from the 9 heavens and collided with the huge dragon claw. He also knows a Supreme Emperor technique. Aoang's eyes flashed with divine light. Ling Xiao's attack was incomparably terrifying. It was actually a Supreme Emperor art, and it wasn't any weaker than his ancestral dragon star-seizing palm. It might even be stronger, containing the power of time. Kacha. The two Supreme Monarch techniques collided in the void and set off a terrifying storm in an instant. It almost blew the entire ancestral dragon palace away. The ancestral dragon imperial seal in the void trembled slightly and emitted a powerful emperor's aura that shrouded the ancestral dragon palace and protected it. It restricted the aftermath of the battle between Ling Xiao and Aoang to a very small area. An incomparably crisp sound rang out. The finger of time annihilation was incomparably terrifying. It actually pierced through that huge dragon claw in an instant. Then it continued to press down on Aoang without slowing down. What? Aoang's body trembled. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He did not expect the ancestral dragon star-picking hand to be unable to withstand the age destruction finger. A hint of madness flashed in his eyes. A black shield flew out of his mouth and expanded in the wind. It instantly blocked the finger radiance. Clang. As if there was a fiery explosion in the void, the sound of metal clashing rang out. The age destruction finger landed on the black shield. The black shield trembled violently. In an instant, hundreds of runes on it exploded at the same time. Dense cracks also appeared on the black shield. Boom! The black shield suddenly shattered. Ao Eng's body trembled violently. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. How is this possible? How can he be so strong? Ao Eng's eyes were filled with shock and anger. He could not understand why he was not Ling Zhao's opponent even though he had a higher cultivation level and cultivated a Supreme Emperor technique. The Ancestral Dragon Star-Picking Hand is indeed not bad. However, you have not cultivated the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. How can you unleash the power of the Ancestral Dragon Star-Picking Hand? Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2568. Ling Zhao's Age Annihilation Finger was imparted to him by the Flowing Time Emperor. This attack contained a vast amount of Emperor's aura, and was close to reaching the greater success stage. Coupled with the activation of the Age Annihilation Finger, Ling Zhao had the ability to control the power of time. How could Ao Eng's half-baked Ancestral Dragon Star-Plucking Palm compare to it? The Ancestral Dragon Star-Plucking Palm was indeed an Emperor technique from the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. Unfortunately, Ao Eng did not cultivate the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture, and could not unleash the full power of the Ancestral Dragon Star-Plucking Palm. Perhaps Ao Eng's attack could fight against a sage ruler, but it was not enough to deal with Ling Zhao. Boom! Ling Zhao slammed his palm down on Ao Eng. Blazing purple light spewed out from his palm, and chaotic aura rose from the surroundings. In an instant, it seemed to form a vast chaotic vortex, and began to devour Ao Eng's ancestral dragon bloodline. You want to steal my ancestral dragon bloodline? Dream on. Ao Eng was instantly enraged and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. The vast blood qi around him seemed to be burning as it erupted with a terrifying energy fluctuation. The surrounding void trembled violently as it tried to break free from Ling Zhao's devouring. At the same time, Ao Eng's eyes turned pure gold in an instant. Two golden light beams containing incomparably terrifying energy shot towards Ling Zhao's glabella. The two golden light beams were hidden between reality and illusion. Although the fluctuations were not strong, their power was not weaker than the Ancestral Dragon Star-Plucking Palm. This was Ao Eng's trump card. Ling Zhao was so close to him that he was confident that he could kill Ling Zhao with one blow. Great Destruction Ray? I didn't expect you to have cultivated this Emperor technique. But I've already said that you don't cultivate the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. Ling Zhao said indifferently with a hint of mockery in his eyes. Crack. Ling Zhao did not stop them at all. However, when the two golden beams of light came into contact with Ling Zhao's forehead, it was as if they had shot into an extremely hard mountain rock. Extremely resplendent sparks erupted, and then they were completely devoured by a strange power in an instant. The Grand Beam of Destruction was also an Emperor technique in the Primal Chaos Ancestral Dragon Scripture. It was an attack on the primordial spirit, and could directly destroy the primordial spirit. However, Ling Zhao had long been on guard against Ao Eng. As soon as the Grand Beam of Destruction was unleashed, the heavenly might appeared in Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness. Not only did it block the Grand Beam of Destruction, but it also directly devoured it. Rumble! Ling Zhao unleashed the strongest power of the sky-devouring secret technique. The vast sky-devouring holy domain appeared, as if it could devour everything. Ao Eng had activated the ancestral dragon bloodline in his body when he executed the Supreme Emperor art. Now it had turned into two nine-colored divine dragons that coiled around his body. However, it was impossible for him to retract them. In an instant, they were pulled into Ling Zhao's body by a vast devouring force. Damn it! Who are you? Who are you? There was a hint of horror in Ao Eng's eyes, and he couldn't help but roar. In front of Ling Zhao, he completely felt what was called powerlessness. Everything seemed to be within Ling Zhao's calculations, and he had no power to resist. The cultivation of great sage perfection was not Ling Zhao's opponent at all, which made him suffer a great blow. At this moment, he was extremely horrified to find that Ling Zhao was waiting for him to unleash the ancestral dragon bloodline. Then, Ling Xiao would use a thunderous method to devour his ancestral dragon bloodline. Who am I? I'm someone you can't afford to offend. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His hand moved like lightning and grabbed Aoang's neck. Then he lifted Aoang into the air. The mighty power in Ling Xiao's body poured into Aoang's body, interrupting the power of vitality that Aoang had just condensed in an instant. Although Aoang's strength was very strong, there was still a big gap between him and Ling Xiao. After all, the current Ling Xiao could even suppress an ordinary Holy King directly. Ling Xiao was waiting for the moment when Aoang unleashed the ancestral dragon bloodline, and then forcibly devoured the ancestral dragon bloodline in his body. Boom. Aoang's entire body was trembling. The ancestral dragon bloodline in his body seemed to be forcefully torn apart, emerging from his body, and then began to be devoured by Ling Xiao. You took away my ancestral dragon bloodline. You're a traitor to the dragon tribe, and everyone has the right to kill you. You'll die a horrible death. Aoang's eyes were filled with resentment as he glared at Ling Xiao. Now you know that the dragon tribe can't strip the bloodline of their own tribe? Then why didn't you know the iron law of the dragon tribe when you devoured the ancestral dragon bloodline in Ao Kuan's body? Moreover, I'm not from the dragon tribe, so I don't have to abide by the iron law of the dragon tribe. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and there was a hint of mockery in his eyes. Although he was talking, he didn't relax his attack at all. A mighty devouring power erupted. Under the suppression of the devouring sacred boundary, Aoang had no way to resist at all. The ancestral dragon bloodline in his body instantly turned into two nine-colored divine dragons, and began to drill into Ling Xiao's body. What? You have the ancestral dragon bloodline. How can you not be from the dragon tribe? Bastard, my grandfather won't let you go. Aoang's eyes were filled with shock, and he let out a desperate roar. Your grandfather? Your grandfather can't even protect himself. He might be waiting for you underground now. Don't worry, you won't die so easily. At least, you won't die in my hands. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He snatched away 99% of Aoang's ancestral dragon bloodline in an overbearing manner, merging it all into his body. Afterwards, he tossed Aoang into the ancestral dragon hall like a dead dog. Aoang's vitality was greatly damaged. After being deprived of the ancestral dragon's bloodline, the dragon's might around him seemed to have dissipated. His entire cultivation base became extremely unstable, as if it would fall from the great sage realm at any time. Boom! 3 dragon roars burst out from Ling Xiao's body in succession, causing the surrounding sky to shake violently. 3 nine-colored divine dragons rushed out from Ling Xiao's body and floated above the ancestral dragon temple in an instant. Then they slowly merged into one. Ling Xiao felt that the blood in his body became extremely hot, as if it was burning. After devouring Aoang's ancestral dragon bloodline, the concentration of the ancestral dragon bloodline in his body also reached an extreme. In an instant, it seemed to have broken through some kind of bottleneck, and suddenly erupted. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2569. 18 Claws? Is this the Archean dragon ancestor? Ling Xiao's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with shock. The chaotic dragon around him seemed to be billions of miles long, but it was sealed in a mysterious space. It looked incomparably illusory, but it was connected to Ling Xiao's bloodline. It grew and multiplied endlessly, causing his entire aura to skyrocket. However, Ling Xiao was confused. Wasn't the 9 Claws bloodline the ancestral dragon bloodline? Why did an 18-clawed chaos dragon appear after he merged the bloodlines of the 3 ancestral dragons? Ling Xiao knew that some unknown change must have occurred in his body, but this change might be a good change. Rumble. At this moment, the ancestral dragon imperial seal in the void seemed to have sensed the 18-clawed chaos dragon around Ling Xiao. In an instant, it appeared above the chaos dragon's head like a bolt of golden lightning, exuding a vast and mysterious aura. Ling Xiao felt that the ancestral dragon imperial seal was refined by him in an instant. This was an extremely powerful apex monarch weapon, the supreme authority of the dragon tribe. After sensing the 18-clawed chaos dragon on Ling Xiao's body, it actually chose to be refined by Ling Xiao in an instant. Have I become the dragon god of the dragon tribe? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with a strange expression. Bastard! Aoang was also stunned at this moment. Although Ling Xiao had devoured the ancestral dragon bloodline, he was still clear-headed. He saw the ancestral dragon imperial seal fly up and choose to be refined by Ling Xiao. Puffed. Aoang's body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was about to go crazy. He had spent so much effort to refine the ancestral dragon imperial seal for a few months, but he still couldn't refine it. Now the ancestral dragon imperial seal pounced on Ling Xiao? It was simply infuriating to compare oneself to others. After experiencing a series of blows, Aoang rolled his eyes and fainted. Am I a human or a dragon now? Ling Xiao mumbled to himself as a bitter smile appeared on his face. He had not expected such a shocking change to happen to his body after he had devoured the 2 ancestral dragon bloodlines in Aoang's body. Even the ancestral dragon imperial seal had recognized him as its master. Could it be that the 18-claws chaotic dragon is the real ancestral dragon bloodline? Does that mean that the 3 ancestral dragon bloodlines have caused my ancestral dragon bloodline to revert to its ancestors? Ling Xiao guessed. Boom. The ancestral dragon imperial seal landed on Ling Xiao's palm. Instantly, Ling Xiao exuded a majestic dragon. And majestic dragon imperial seal. And it. A loud dragon roar was heard. It was as if the Archean dragon had woken up from the chaos. A terrifying aura was emitted, causing all the powerful creatures in Archosaur Star to tremble in fear. Holding the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal, Ling Xiao seemed to have become the supreme dragon emperor of the dragon clan, ruling over everything and possessing supreme authority. The ancestral dragon imperial jade seal looked different. It had become crystal clear and was emitting a mysterious fluctuation. It seemed to be resonating with the entire ancestral dragon star. Ling Xiao could vaguely see that within the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal, boundless primal chaos chi was rising, as if there was a gigantic dragon that was billions of miles long lying dormant. The 18-clawed chaos dragon around Ling Xiao roared and rushed into the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal. The ancestral dragon imperial jade seal emitted an incomparably resplendent light. In an instant, it floated in the ancestral dragon palace, causing the entire palace to shake violently. Vaguely, Ling Xiao's consciousness seemed to have arrived in an endless expanse of chaos. He saw 5 ancient planets in the primal chaos. Each planet was incomparably ancient and contained mysterious energy waves. On the eastern planet, there was a gigantic chaotic dragon that was hundreds of millions of kilometers long floating above it, exuding a vast dragon's might. On a planet in the west, there was a gigantic white tiger. It was like a mountain, exuding a monstrous baleful aura. On a planet in the south, there was a gigantic phoenix that had been reborn. It was surrounded by an inextinguishable flame that lit up the primal chaos void. On a planet in the north, there was a black tortoise. It was like a vast continent that exuded an immense amount of energy. On a planet in the middle, there was a Kylan that was exuding a 9-colored glow. It was majestic and mysterious like an emperor. Aren't they the 5 sacred beasts? What are the 5 planets? Is Ancestral Dragon Star one of the 5 planets? Ling Xiao was shocked and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He had not expected there to be more than one Ancestral Dragon Star in the primal chaos void. There were actually 4 other planets. It seemed like the other 4 planets belonged to the other 4 sacred tribes. It was not an exaggeration to call them White Tiger Star, Phoenix Star, Black Tortoise Star, and Qilin Star. If Ancestral Dragon Star had the legacy of the Archean Dragon, would the other 4 planets have the legacy of the 4 sacred beasts? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he guessed in his heart. Buzz. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal shone brightly, and there was a strong fluctuation in the space around it. Instantly, 4 illusory passageways appeared in front of Ling Xiao. They were the passageways that led to the other 4 planets. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal can open up the passageways to the other 4 planets. Ling Xiao was stunned. He felt that if he continued to inject energy into the passageways, the 4 illusory passageways would soon materialize. However, he did not intend to enter the other 4 planets. That was not a joke. That was the forbidden land of the 4 sacred tribes. If someone found out where he was, he would be in great danger. After all, it was said that the other 4 sacred tribes had Emperor Realm experts. However, if he had the chance in the future, he might be able to visit the other 4 planets. After Ling Xiao had obtained the ancestral dragon bloodline, he could vaguely feel that there was a mysterious connection between the 5 sacred beasts. If he could obtain the bloodline of the 5 sacred beasts, his physical body might go through some unique changes. However, it would be better for Aotian to be the Dragon King. He is the one who has obtained the legacy of Dragon King Aosheng. Anyway, I should keep the goodies within the family. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Eventually he looked at Aoang. Perhaps Aoang was affected by the ancestral dragon bloodline in Ling Xiao's body, but he had regained consciousness. You. What are you trying to do? Aoang asked fiercely. Don't worry. I won't kill you. You will be judged by the entire dragon tribe. Ling Xiao said flatly. Aoang's face turned ashen in an instant, and his eyes revealed a trace of despair. He did not know who the stranger in front of him was. However, Ling Xiao had become the Dragon King of the Dragon Tribe, and was in charge of the Dragon Tribe. Once he left Archosaur Star. Even if Ao Kuang was still alive, no one would support him anymore. Aoang and Ao Kuang's many years of planning had come to nothing. Ling Xiao had destroyed all of their plans. Although Aoang hated Ling Xiao to the core, there was nothing he could do about it. Ling Xiao started to cultivate in the ancestral dragon palace as he waited for Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao to arrive. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao might be slow, but Ling Xiao believed that it wouldn't take long for them to pass the 3 tests and enter the ancestral dragon palace. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2570. Aoang has been captured by brother Ling Xiao. Long Xiaoxiao was surprised and happy at the same time. Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao had finally passed the 3 tests of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. They were worried that Aoang had refined the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, so they had rushed to Ancestral Dragon Palace. They had not expected to see Ling Xiao, the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal floating above his head, and Aoang lying on the ground like a dead dog. This guy is Aoang? He is so cunning. He sneaked into Ancestral Dragon Star, and even sent the 10 dragon generals to kill us. We can't let him die so easily. Long Outyin sneered. He was still angry that Aoang had sent people to kill him. Bring him out of Ancestral Dragon Star, and kill him in front of the dragon tribe at Thousand Dragons Sacred Mountain. We should be able to intimidate those disloyal dragon tribe. Outyin, this is the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Refine it. Ling Xiao said slowly. He took a closer look and found that Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao's aura had strengthened a lot, and their cultivation had skyrocketed. Apparently, they had benefited a lot from passing the 3 tests of Ancestral Dragon Mountain. They were only 1 step away from the Saint Realm. Once they left Ancestral Dragon Star, Long Outyin and Long Xiaoxiao would be able to trigger the Divine Test and become sages. Is this the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal? Long Outyin's eyes lit up immediately. Xiaoxiao, Outyin has inherited the chaotic Ancestral Dragon Scripture. That is the key to opening the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Therefore, he has to refine the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Don't blame me. Ling Xiao looked at Long Xiaoxiao apologetically. Long Xiaoxiao waved her hand nonchalantly. Brother Ling Xiao, I never wanted to be a dragon god. Since Long Outyin is the successor of dragon god Aosheng, then he is naturally the dragon god of our dragon race. Although I think he is a little unreliable, he is definitely much better than that traitor Aoang. Long Outyin's face darkened immediately. What do you mean by unreliable? I, Long Outyin, am the pride of the heavens. I have the bloodline of the ancestral dragon, and my talents are extraordinary. I have even inherited the legacy of Aosheng Dragon Lord. It is my destiny to become the Dragon Lord of the dragon race, alright? However, he couldn't be bothered to argue with this little girl. He snorted coldly and walked over arrogantly, taking the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal from Ling Xiao. Hee, thank you, cousin. Long Outyan's eyes were filled with excitement. This was the supreme authority of the dragon tribe, the most powerful emperor weapon of the dragon tribe. As long as he refined the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal, he would be the dragon god of the dragon tribe. Hurry and refine it. Ling Xiao smiled and shook his head. Ling Xiao did not intend to become the dragon monarch of the dragon race, because he had his own considerations. Although he had the bloodline of the ancestral dragon, he was not a true dragon. He still had half of the human bloodline in his body. If he became the dragon monarch of the dragon race, he would not be able to convince the masses. Moreover, Long Aotian was indeed more suitable to become the dragon king. As long as he could control the dragon race would definitely be a great help to Ling Xiao. Rumble. Long Outyan sat down cross-legged under the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal. The vast power of blood qi rose around him, and the powerful bloodline of the ancestral dragon erupted. As he circulated the chaotic ancestral dragon scripture, the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal was being refined at a speed visible to the naked eye. The chaotic ancestral dragon scripture was the key to the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal. Without the chaotic ancestral dragon scripture, it would be difficult for Aoang to refine the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal completely, even if he spent a few months. Although Long Outyan's cultivation was only in the sage-to-be realm, he was able to refine the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal quickly with the help of the chaotic ancestral dragon scripture. Roar. In the end, an ancient dragon's roar resounded in the ancestral dragon palace. In an instant, a huge dragon that was emitting 9-colored divine light and surrounded by chaotic gas rushed out of the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal. It then coiled around Long Outyan and became one with him. It made Long Outyan look even more majestic and mysterious. Long Outyan held the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal in his hand with the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal coiling around him. His aura was monstrous and vast like a dragon king. He exuded an insufferably arrogant aura, as if he was invincible in the world. Outyan, you've refined the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal. Let's go. It's a good time to deal with the traitors of the dragon clan. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he slowly said, "That's right. That old bastard Ao Kuang betrayed his master and ancestors. I, Long Outyan, will kill him." Long Outyan's eyes were filled with excitement. He could feel that his body was filled with an incomparably violent energy. The ancestral dragon imperial seal in his hand was incomparably terrifying. Extreme Emperor's aura filled the air, giving him a feeling of omnipotence, as if he could destroy everything. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ling Xiao, Long Outyan, and Long Xiaoxiao grabbed Aoang at the same time and left the ancestral dragon mountain. They were ready to return to the 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain through the ancestral dragon cave. The battle at the 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain had lasted for more than half a month. The 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain was originally a peaceful place with tens of thousands of dragon veins gathered, thousands of rays of light and thousands of auspicious colors. However, at this moment, it was covered with a layer of murderous aura. The void was filled with a strong smell of blood. Rumble. Powerful figures collided with each other in the void, erupting with destructive energy waves. Gu Dawi, heavenly venerable Mo Kuei is here. Why don't you quickly surrender? Ao Kuang roared, his eyes filled with an incomparably cold expression. In the void, there were 3 figures with the most terrifying auras. They were like 3 dazzling balls of light, erupting with insufferably dazzling light. 2 of them were Ao Kuang and Gu Dawi, while the third was a young man in a black robe. Demonic aura rose around his body, and his face was incomparably demonic. He exuded an insufferably arrogant aura. Ao Kuang looked at Gu Dawi with eyes full of fear and anger. After more than 10 days of battle, Ao Kuang also knew Gu Dawi's identity. A prodigy of the demon realm in ancient times, the supreme fierce lord with a fierce reputation. But Ao Kuang did not expect at all that Gu Dawi looked to be merely an ordinary holy king, but his strength was actually so terrifying and domineering. He, a supreme holy king, was actually not Gu Daoi's match, and was almost slain by Gu Dao. Fortunately, his reinforcements arrived at the critical moment. Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei, whose cultivation already reached the 4th stage of the Holy King realm, was revered as an Empyrean. His strength was terrifying and unparalleled. The moment he made his move, he erupted with the strongest combat power. Your true form is actually a demonic sunflower? A plant like a demonic sunflower can actually become a spirit too? If I devour you, my cultivation might be able to recover a portion. Gu Dao ignored Ao Kuang. His gaze landed on Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei, his eyes having a trace of surprise. Gu Dao, you're no longer the fierce lord. With a mere ordinary holy king cultivation, you also dare to be impudent in front of this seat? If you surrender without a fight, I can spare your life. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version reading website. Chapter 2571. When he first heard that the sloppy old man in front of him was actually the legendary fierce Lord Gu Dao, even Celestial Venerable Demonic Sunflower was greatly shocked. However, when he saw that Gu Daoi's current cultivation was only that of an ordinary Saint King, he felt much more at ease. Even if it was the former fierce lord, Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei was confident that he could defeat him with the cultivation of an ordinary Saint King. If he could capture the fierce lord, the Emperor Lord would be very happy, right? Surrender without putting up a fight? You, a Heavenly Venerable, don't have this ability. Gu Dao smiled faintly. His eyes were sharp, and his body emitted a monstrous battle intent. Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei in front of him was extremely powerful. If Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei hadn't made a move, Gu Dao might have already killed Ao Kuang. Although Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei was only a minor realm higher than Ao Kuang, the difference between a Supreme Saint King and a Heavenly Venerable was like the difference between heaven and earth. In the probing exchange just now, Gu Dao had already sensed that Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei was a formidable opponent. Gu Dao, since you don't know what's good for you, then I'll completely erase the so-called Fierce Lord today. Murderous intent flashed in Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei's eyes, and he instantly attacked. Demonic light rose up around him, and black divine wind whistled, sweeping through the 10,000 dragons' sacred mountain. In the endless black light, a gigantic black sunflower could be faintly seen, and it was currently endlessly devouring the vast power of the sun. Then it streaked across the sky and pressed down on Gu Dao. Heavenly Venerable Mo Kuei was as fast as lightning, and there seemed to be countless black light spewing out from his palm. Each attack was extremely powerful, like sword light that filled the sky, sharp to the extreme. Rumble. A glint flashed in Gu Daoi's eyes. With a wave of his sleeve, a huge black and white Tai Chi diagram instantly appeared in front of him. It was intertwined with a mysterious rhythm of Tao, and contained an incredibly strong defensive power. It was rotating slowly. The black light swept over and blasted on the black and white Tai Chi diagram, causing a rumbling sound to erupt, causing the black and white Tai Chi diagram to tremble violently as if it would collapse at any time. Clang. Meanwhile, at this moment, killing intent also flashed in Ao Kuang's eyes. A blazing saber light was unleashed across the sky, sweeping through several tens of thousands of miles of void space. A black battle saber appeared in his hand, and it slashed down towards Gu Dao. Ao Kuang and Celestial Lord Demonic Kuei joined forces, and unleashed an extremely terrifying battle prowess. At this moment, even a Supreme Saint King would probably be instantly killed. Even a Celestial Lord would find it difficult to withstand their attacks. Gu Daoi's expression also became slightly solemn. He had just left the Sealing Dragon Abyss, and had only recovered the cultivation of an ordinary Saint King. It was not even a 10,000th of his peak state. Facing Ao Kuang alone was nothing, but with Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower in the mix, he still felt extremely pressured. The great Tao is eternal. Gu Dao rebuked softly, and his entire person instantly soared into the skies. That black and white Tai Chi diagram released a brilliant light, and then expanded explosively in void space, like a vast heavenly canopy, covering the sky and the sun. Endless Taoist rhymes permeated the air, and mysterious runes and divine chains of order intertwined, enveloping Gu Daoi's entire person, emitting an eternal and immortal fluctuation. Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower's attacks simultaneously blasted on the black and white Tai Chi diagram. Buzz. The black and white Tai Chi diagram trembled violently, and endless Taoist rhymes permeated the air. Chaotic light emerged, and in an instant, two more incomparably fierce attacks actually rebounded from the black and white Tai Chi diagram, shooting towards Aoang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. Sorrow of heaven and earth. Gu Daoi's eyes were filled with a powerful fighting spirit. He slapped out a palm strike towards Ao Kuang from high up in the air. The huge palm print was vast and mighty, as if it was going to shatter the heavens and the earth. Everything returned to chaos, and the heavens and the earth grieved, containing a kind of great destructive power. Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower joined forces, and their battle prowess was incomparably strong. Gu Daoi was prepared to deal with Ao Kuang first, and then fight with Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. What? Ao Kuang's entire body trembled. He didn't expect that the terrifying saber strike that slashed towards Gu Daoi would actually rebound at an extremely fast speed, and the power was even stronger. He hurriedly blocked, and the vast dragon's might around him rose. He slashed out dozens of times in succession, and only then did he resolve the terrifying saber light that rebounded back. And at this moment, Gu Daoi's palm also slammed down, and there was a wave of power that could destroy everything, leaving Ao Kuang with no room to dodge at all. Damn it, he actually held back in the battle with me before? Ao Kuang's eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Whether it was the eternal great Tao or the sorrow of heaven and earth, Gu Daoi had never used them before, and now it seemed that the powerful pressure from Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower made Gu Daoi also begin to completely erupt. Boom. Although Ao Kuang tried his best to resist, he was still hit in the chest by Gu Daoi's palm. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his entire person was directly sent flying. You're courting death. Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower was also furious. He saw through Gu Daoi's intentions, but wanting to kill in front of him still made him feel a great humiliation. Rumble. Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower seemed to have pierced through the void. In an instant, blazing light rose around him, and it was as if a black sun had floated out. He directly appeared in front of Gu Daoi, and the black sun contained an evil demonic light, suppressing towards Gu Daoi. Streaks of sharp sword light fell from the black sun, forming a violent sword domain. The dense sword chi seemed to be comparable to the attack of a Saint King, and it was extremely terrifying. Clang clang clang. The black sword chi slashed on Gu Daoi's body, and a blazing light burst out, causing the void all around to tremble violently. Gu Daoi's figure seemed to have become somewhat blurry. Gu Daoi, you forced me to do this. Ao Kuang was simply about to go crazy from anger. His eyes were filled with incomparably cold killing intent, and the blood in his body rose. In an instant, a loud dragon roar burst out. His entire person shook in the void, transforming into a giant dragon that was millions of feet long. He spat out a golden flame from his mouth, and suddenly enveloped Gu Daoi. Ao Kuang was actually forced to directly reveal his true form. After the Dragon Clan revealed their true form, they could erupt with even more terrifying combat power. Senior Gu Daoi, could it be that he's going to lose? Ao Feng and the others all sensed the madness of Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower, and their eyes revealed incomparable shock and worry. The Saint King supporting Ao Kuang and the dozen Saint King powerhouses brought by Ling Xiao were evenly matched in the battle. If Gu Daoi was jointly suppressed by Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower, then this battle would probably be really dangerous. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2572. Although Gu Daoi was an ancient sky pride, and was known as the fierce lord who survived the emperor's tribulation, he had sealed himself for countless years. His current cultivation was only at the Saint Kinghood realm. Whether it was Ao Kuang or Heavenly Master Mo Kuei, they were all a few realms higher than him. Under the joint attack of Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Mo Kuei, everyone felt that Gu Dawi was probably doomed. The battle at the 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain became more and more tragic. At the same time, Ling Xiao, Long Outyin, and Long Xiaoxiao walked out of the Ancestral Dragon Cave with Ao Angyu. Outside the Ancestral Dragon Cave, a Saint Kinghood expert was instantly alarmed. It was a burly man with a dignified face. After Ling Xiao and the others entered the Ancestral Dragon Cave, he was ordered by Ao Kuang to seal off the cave and rescue Ao Ang. He did not expect Ling Xiao, Long Outyin, and Long Xiaoxiao to walk out of the Ancestral Dragon Cave unscathed and capture Ao Ang. Boom! Murderous intent flashed in the Saint Kinghood's eyes as he slammed his palm toward Ling Xiao and the others. "You're courting death." Long Outyin sneered as he charged toward the Saint Kinghood. Blazing divine light gushed out from his body as a vast dragon aura erupted. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal in his palm instantly bloomed with unparalleled brilliance and shot into the sky like a mountain. "What? You refined the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal?" The Saint Kinghood's face changed drastically as his eyes were filled with disbelief. Although he had expected that something must have happened in the Ancestral Dragon Cave when he saw Ao Ang being captured, he did not expect Long Outyin to have refined the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Rumble! The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal bloomed with unparalleled brilliance, as the 9 divine dragons seemed to have come alive. They contained a vast amount of pressure as they pressed down on the Saint Kinghood. No, the Saint Kinghood's eyes were filled with horror. The 9 divine dragons were like 9 divine chains that contained the power to pierce through everything. He could not resist at all, and was instantly pierced through. Puff! Blood filled the air, and the Saint King was pierced through by the 9 divine dragons. His cultivation was directly suppressed, and he was frozen in the void. Boundless dragon might rose. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal blossomed with unparalleled radiance, causing the entire 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain to resonate with it. A Saint King was directly suppressed just like that. The Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal is the supreme authority of our Dragon Clan. It can suppress all the experts of the Dragon Clan who have committed crimes. How dare a mere saint ruler act so presumptuously? Long Xiaoxiao said indifferently. Her eyes were filled with sharpness. The Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal was a supreme treasure of the Dragon Clan, not only because it was an apex emperor weapon, but also because it contained the power of the immemorial Ancestral Dragon. It was extremely powerful against all experts of the Dragon Clan. A saint ruler would not be able to escape the suppression of the Ancestral Dragon Jade Seal. Even though Long Outyin had yet to become a martial saint, he was able to control the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Seal inside the 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain. He could even control the 10,000 Dragons greeting formation to suppress everything. What? Saint King Longhan has been suppressed? Someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with shock. As soon as Ling Xiao, Long Outyin, and Long Xiaoxiao came out of the Ancestral Dragon Cave, they took out the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal and forcefully suppressed the Saint King. It pierced through his body and imprisoned him in the void. His body was covered in blood and he looked extremely miserable. The commotion on this side also instantly alarmed everyone. Even Ao Kuang, Heavenly Master Mo Kuei, Gu Dawi, and the others who were fighting stopped and looked over. Ao Kuang saw Ao Ang in Long Outyin's hand like a dead dog and his body trembled. His eyes were filled with shock and anger. He could not help but roar. He did not expect Ao Ang to be captured by Ling Xiao and the other 2 after entering the Ancestral Dragon Cave. Moreover, it seemed like the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal had fallen into Long Outyin's hands. Ao Kuang, you traitor, why don't you surrender now? I, Long Outyin, am the 36,108th Dragon Monarch of the Dragon Tribe. Anyone who has followed Ao Kuang and committed crimes, lay down your weapons and surrender to the light. I can let bygones be bygones. Anyone who dares to resist will be killed without mercy. Long Outyin rose into the sky. His voice was like thunder, spreading across the entire sacred Dragon Mountain in an instant. All the experts of the Dragon Tribe could not help but tremble. What? The person who obtained the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal was not the little princess or Ao Ang, but this Long Outyin whose name they had never heard of? No, Long Outyan's name was so familiar. Where have I heard it before? Devour. Rumble. Long Outyan stepped into the void. The ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal floated above his head, sprinkling down rays of bright light. Vast dragon aura gushed out, causing him to merge with the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal, and even the entire 10,000 Dragon Mountain range. He exuded an aura that could destroy heaven and earth, causing the surrounding sky to tremble violently. However, at this moment, Long Outyan did not seem to have the majesty of a dragon monarch at all. Instead, he looked very arrogant and proud. After hearing Long Outyan's words, the faces of the experts who followed Ao Kuang changed drastically. Their eyes were filled with bewilderment, and they began to hesitate and struggle. The dragon monarch of the dragon tribe had been decided. No matter who Long Outyan was, it seemed that he was on the little princess's side. It could be said that Aoang and Ao Kuang had completely failed. Even Aoang had been captured. Those who originally followed Ao Kuang all had the intention to retreat at this moment. Don't listen to his nonsense. This person is not a member of the dragon tribe at all. He must have used despicable means to take the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal from Aoang. The ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal should be in the hands of the dragon tribe. Are you willing to be suppressed by an outsider? Come with me, kill them and take back the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Ao Kuang saw the expressions of the crowd and was shocked. He hurriedly shouted at the crowd. If the crowd turned against him at this moment, he would really be finished. Even the incomparably indifferent Sky Sovereign demonic sunflower had a solemn expression on his face at this moment. All of this had already gone beyond his control. Could it be that his many years of scheming were going to be for naught today? Ao Kuang, don't try to mislead us with your lies. Everyone, Long Outyan is a member of the dragon tribe. Not only does he possess the bloodline of the ancestral dragon, he is also favored by Ao Sheng Dragon Monarch. He is the successor of Ao Sheng Dragon Monarch. Today he is in possession of the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal. It is the will of the heavens. I advise you to quickly abandon the darkness and join the light, or you should know what the ancestral dragon Imperial Jade Seal represents. Long Xiaoxiao's gaze landed on the Saint Ruler elders who followed Ao Kuang. She was extremely solemn and dignified, like a queen who had descended to the world. Chapter 2573. Xiaoxiao, you know me best. Long Outyan was elated by Long Xiaoxiao's words as he looked at Long Xiaoxiao happily. Long Xiaoxiao's forehead was filled with black lines. She couldn't be bothered with Long Outyan. The more she praised him, the more arrogant he got. Her gaze was still solemn as she stared at those who followed Ao Kuang, waiting for them to make a decision. What? Long Outyan is the successor of Ao Sheng Longjun? How is that possible? What's impossible about that? Have you forgotten? Master Longjun has gone missing and no one in the dragon tribe, including the little princess, knows the cultivation method of the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. Only by obtaining the scripture can one wield the ancestral dragon Jade Seal. That's right. Long Outyan is really the successor of Ao Sheng Longjun. As the successor of Ao Sheng Dragon Lord, there is no problem for him to become the Dragon Lord of the Dragon Tribe. Everyone from the Dragon Tribe began to discuss among themselves. Even though some of them were skeptical, they still believed 80% of Long Xiaoxiao's words. Rumble. As if he wanted to add fuel to the fire, Long Outyan's body glowed with divine light. In an instant, a chaotic world seemed to rise from his body as a vast dragon's aura bloomed. A mysterious phenomenon of chaos splitting the heavens and earth appeared around him. Moreover, an 18-clawed chaos dragon coiled in the chaos, emitting an unparalleled light. This is the phenomenon of the primal chaos ancestral dragon. Only those who cultivate the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture can produce such a phenomenon. Long Outyan must have the inheritance of the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. He is the successor of Ao Sheng Longjun. Among the dragon tribe, a white-haired old Saint King suddenly rushed out from a mountain. His body trembled as he exclaimed. His eyes were filled with excitement. Although he was only an ordinary Saint King, He was extremely old. It was said that he was 1 generation older than Ao Shenglong Jun. He had been in seclusion all this time, and was shocked by the aura of the primal chaos ancestral dragon scripture. What? He's really the successor of Ao Shenglong Jun? Senior Uncle Long Xian has already confirmed it. Long Outyin must be the successor of Ao Shenglong Jun. In other words, from today onwards, he is the dragon god of our dragon tribe. Seeing the terrifying phenomenon on Long Outyin's body, coupled with Long Xiaoxiao and Long Xian's words, everyone instantly believed it. Long Outyin was the successor of Ao Shenglong Jun. With the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal in hand, Long Outyin would be the new dragon god of the dragon race. Greetings, Lord Dragon Monarch. Lord Dragon Monarch, we were also coerced by that old thing Ao Kuang. Please have mercy on us. Lord Dragon Monarch, we are willing to forsake the darkness and join the light. Lord Dragon Monarch, please spare us. From today onwards, we will sever all ties with that traitor Ao Kuang. Now that Long Outyin's identity had been confirmed, everyone from the Dragon clan became excited. Their eyes were filled with fanatical admiration as they bowed towards Long Outyin. The experts who had followed Ao Kuang all gritted their teeth and gave up on the battle. They pulled away from Ao Kuang and bowed to Long Outyin, begging for mercy. They wanted a chance to redeem themselves. Don't listen to his nonsense. He is not a member of the dragon race at all. Bastard. Ao Kuang was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with anger, and his body was trembling. However, no one listened to him. What a joke. The dragon monarch of the dragon race had appeared. Ao Kuang and Aoang were traitors to the dragon race. Who would dare to rebel with him? Not only was the ancestral dragon imperial jade seal the supreme authority of the dragon race, it was also a powerful emperor weapon. It had a great restraining and suppressing effect on many experts of the dragon race. It could even activate the 1,000 Dragons Imperial Jade Seal formation. That was the true Supreme Emperor formation. Didn't they see how miserable the unlucky Saint King who dared to attack the Dragon Monarch in the void looked? In just a moment, all those who had followed Ao Kuang had chosen to change sides. They all wanted to forsake the darkness and join the light, distancing themselves from Ao Kuang. However, those Saint Kings still had some hesitation and fear on their faces. After all, they were all staunch supporters of Ao Kuang. They were afraid that even if Long Outyin agreed to let bygones be bygones, would he punish them after this battle? As if he could see the hesitation of those Saint Kings, Long Outyin suddenly said in a clear voice, "Very well, since everyone has chosen to forsake the darkness and join the light, then I will let bygones be bygones. I will allow you to redeem yourselves by meritorious service and forgive your death penalty. Now all Saint King elders, listen up. Those who kill Ao Kuang will be heavily rewarded." Long Outyin's voice was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. Those Saint King elders of the dragon race all trembled. In an instant, an extremely vicious expression appeared on their faces. They stared at Ao Kuang with eyes full of crazy killing intent. They all understood. Long Outyin meant to let them redeem themselves by meritorious service. As long as they killed Ao Kuang, they could be forgiven for their sins. It was better to die than to die. In any case, the culprit was Ao Kuang. As long as they killed him, everyone could live. As a result, Ling Xiao, Long Outyin, and Long Xiaoxiao saw this strange scene. Those Saint Kings who were originally loyal to Ao Kuang were all boiling with killing intent. Their eyes were filled with incomparably cold killing intent. They were even more ruthless than those Saint Kings that Ling Xiao had brought out of the sealing dragon abyss. In an instant, more than a dozen Saint Kings surrounded Ao Kuang, and Heavenly Master Mo Kuei in the center. "Kid, you're very cunning. You forgave their death penalty, but you didn't say that you would forgive all their sins. I'm afraid they can be spared from death, but they can't escape punishment." Ling Xiao glanced at Long Outyin and transmitted his voice. "Hee. Cousin, these bastards dared to rebel with Ao Kuang. Even if I plan to spare their lives, I can't let them go just like that. After this battle, I'll settle the score." Long Outyin chuckled and said. Ling Xiao nodded. These guys from the Dragon Clan really couldn't be forgiven so easily. A group of fence-sitters. When they saw that Long Outyin had become the Dragon Monarch, they immediately betrayed Ao Kuang. It was inevitable that such people wouldn't rebel in the future. They still needed to be properly disciplined. At the very least, they had to hand over their life origin spirit and control their life and death. Good. Very good. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect that after Ao Kuang, schemed for so long. It all benefited a little bastard like you. I can't accept it. I can't accept it. Ao Kuang's face was incomparably pale. His eyes revealed a look of despair as he roared towards the sky. All of this was because of Long Outyin. If it weren't for Long Outyin, Ao Kuang would have already refined the ancestral dragon jade seal and become the dragon monarch of the Dragon Clan, ruling over the Dragon Clan. Please remember the domain name of this book. Third Sect Master's mobile reading website. Chapter 2574. Idiot. You ruined Lord Demon King's plans. I didn't expect you and your grandson to be so useless. Lord Demon King's plans were all ruined by you. Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower resisted the thought of slapping Ao Kuang to death, and said coldly, Celestial Master, you must save me. I don't know where that Long Outyin came from. I didn't expect him to be able to obtain Ao Sheng Longjun's inheritance. Why don't you let Lord Demon King come and kill them all? Ao Kuang hurriedly said to Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower. Let Lord Demon King come? You don't have the qualifications to let Lord Demon King come personally. We can only think of a way to kill our way out. These people dare to go against Lord Demon King. They must all die. Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower's eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Don't let them escape. Kill them. Long Outyin's eyes turned as if he saw what Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower and Ao Kuang were discussing. He suddenly shouted, Kill. With Long Outyin's order, nearly 20 Saint King powerhouses, each of their eyes filled with monstrous killing intent. Saint aura rose around their bodies, and in an instant, they burst out with a strong offensive power, charging towards Ao Kuang and Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower. Many Saint Kings attacked with all their strength. In an instant, the void shook, and the world rumbled. Endless void turbulence surged as if it was going to completely annihilate everything. Although they knew that they would definitely win this battle, no one dared to be careless. Ao Kuang was a supreme Saint King, and Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower stood at the peak of the Saint King realm. They were both top powerhouses with half a foot in the Imperial Emperor realm. Their strength was extremely terrifying. Powerful saint treasures flew across the sky. There were saint sabers, divine swords, pill cauldrons, and ancient bells. All of them burst out with a strong killing power, forming an incomparably terrifying storm that enveloped Ao Kuang and Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower in an instant. The dragon race is unfair. They treat me like dirt. Today I, Ao Kuang, have betrayed the dragon race. Ao Kuang seemed to have gone completely mad. The vast blood-red light around him surged violently. In an instant, it was as if he was enveloped by black flames. It was as if he had gone mad. With a strike, it was as if a blood-red sea had swept out from the surroundings. Immediately, it sent the Saint Kings flying. Black flames enveloped his palm as he frantically tried to break out of the 10,000 Dragons' sacred mountain. He knew that the most important thing right now was to kill his way out and not get entangled with so many saint rulers. You're courting death. Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower was completely enraged. Blazing killing intent rose in his eyes. In an instant, black demonic light boiled around his body. Behind him, an ancient sunflower appeared, emitting a monstrous aura. It suddenly charged forward. None of the Saint Kings who tried to stop him were a match for him. They were all sent flying. Although 20 Saint Kings were a lot, most of them were ordinary Saint Kings and peak Saint Kings. They were no match for Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower at all. As soon as they exchanged blows, a fierce battle broke out. Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower actually had a tendency to break through the void and escape from the encirclement. It's actually a demonic sunflower? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as his gaze fell on Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. He discovered that Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower's original body was actually a demonic sunflower. This kind of powerful plant could transform, and had cultivated to the Heavenly Master realm. Its combat strength was extremely terrifying, even more powerful than the powerful Archean variant. This is the heaven-swallowing demonic sunflower. It's also considered an innate spiritual root. It's extremely difficult for an innate spiritual root to transform. I didn't expect this heaven-swallowing demonic sunflower to transform. Boy, are you interested in killing this Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower? As long as you kill him, get the heaven-swallowing demonic sunflower, and refine his origin, not only can I recover my cultivation as quickly as possible, but even you can cultivate to the great saint perfection directly. Gu Daoyi appeared beside Ling Xiao and said with a smile, "Heaven-swallowing demonic sunflower?" Ling Xiao was also slightly moved. He didn't expect Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower to have such a background. Innate spiritual roots were extremely difficult to transform. This Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower's strength was indeed extremely strong. The 20 Saint Kings in front of him couldn't stop him at all. "Senior, then let's join forces and kill this Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower?" Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit as he glanced at Gu Daoyi and smiled slightly. "All right." Gu Daoyi nodded. If he and Ling Xiao could kill Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower, the 20 Saint Kings shouldn't have a problem stopping Ao Kuang. Most importantly, this heaven-swallowing demonic sunflower was extremely rare, which made Gu Daoyi interested. "Outyan, although you haven't proven your Dao and become a saint yet, you have the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. You should be able to activate a trace of the power of the Thousand Dragons Imperial Greeting Formation. Later, Senior Gu and I will kill Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. If he and Ao Kuang want to escape, you activate the formation to stop them." Ling Xiao said to Long Outyan. "All right. Then be careful." Long Outyan nodded helplessly. He still wanted to use the Ancestral Dragon Imperial Jade Seal to kill Ao Kuang, but he also knew that his cultivation was too weak. If he rashly interfered in the battle, not only would he not be able to kill Ao Kuang, but he might also let them escape. The most important thing now was to stop Ao Kuang and Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower, and not let them escape. Rumble. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed an extremely strong fighting spirit. In an instant, purple divine light rose around his body, and he threw a punch at Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. Ling Xiao could feel the strength of Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. He was a Heavenly Master expert who was 10 times stronger than Ao Kuang. With Ling Zhao's current cultivation, it was extremely difficult to deal with Ao Kuang, let alone a Heavenly Master expert. However, he had the Heaven's Might Prison Steel, an extreme Dao Emperor weapon. In addition to Gu Daoyi, the two of them still had some confidence in dealing with Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower. Moreover, Ling Xiao also wanted to see where the limit of his current fighting strength was. "You're courting death." Heavenly Master Demonic Sunflower had just sent a few Saint Kings flying in front of him and wanted to leave the Thousand Dragons Sacred Mountain. He did not expect Ling Xiao to come and attack him. Ling Xiao was only a great saint, but he dared to attack him. Immediately, his eyes revealed an extremely cold killing intent. Boom! He slammed his palm toward Ling Xiao, and a black sword chi erupted from his palm. It was extremely sharp, and he wanted to kill this ant who dared to challenge the dignity of a heavenly master. Chapter 2575. Ling Zhao's vitality surged as purple divine light gathered and condensed into an immortal fist. It instantly collided with Heavenly Master Emokue's fist, causing a muffled explosion in the void. Ling Zhao's fist was incomparably fierce. He had condensed the Hong Meng immortal body, and in terms of physical strength alone, even Heavenly Master Emokue, who stood at the 4th stage of the Saint King realm, was not as strong as him. This punch contained the power to annihilate everything. When it collided with the black sword chi, a crisp sound rang out, and all the sword chi in the sky was annihilated. Hung Long Long. Ling Xiao was directly sent flying, his vitality surging. Heavenly Master Mo Kuei was also forced back a few steps by Ling Xiao's punch, his eyes filled with shock. He did not expect that a great Saint Realm Master, who looked like he could easily crush him, would have such a powerful physical body that made him feel threatened. Die Ant! Heavenly Master Mo Kuei was both shocked and angry. Vast saint force rose from his body, and in an instant, a black beam of light swallowed up Sword Qi, which seemed to be able to cut through everything, directly pierced towards Ling Xiao's forehead. At the same time, Heavenly Master Mo Kuei also erupted with a vast amount of Yuan spirit power, suppressing Ling Xiao. A Heavenly Master was only one step away from the Supreme Emperor realm, and their Yuan spirits were extremely powerful. Their pure divine force was like a solid substance, and they could directly kill a great Saint Realm Master. Even ordinary Saint Kings would be greatly suppressed by them. Ling Xiao could feel that the Yuan spirit power of Heavenly Master Mo Kuei was vast and unparalleled, like a terrifying black storm, directly suppressing him. It was difficult for Ling Xiao's Yuan spirit alone to contend with the pressure of Heavenly Master Mo Kuei's Yuan spirit. Break for me! A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. In an instant, heaven's might erupted like a prison steel. It directly rushed out of his sea of consciousness and collided with the pressure of Empyrean Demoncenflower's soul. At the same time, Ling Xiao soared into the sky, and terrifying divine light surged around him. Behind him, chaotic light rose, as if an ancient hell had appeared. There were endless roars of fiend gods, and at the same time, a mysterious heavenly emperor phantom appeared, suppressing everything. Celestial Emperor Prison Suppression Art. This was a supreme emperor technique from the heavenly prison scripture. Its power was not weaker than the heavenly prison scripture. It was taken from the heavenly emperor, who suppressed hell and ruled over the life and death of millions of gods and devils. Facing Empyrean Devil Sunflower, Ling Xiao also erupted with his strongest power. Rumble. Heaven's might was like a prison steel, its might unparalleled. In an instant, it blocked Empyrean Demoncenflower's origin spirit pressure. Then, it soared into the sky and suppressed Empyrean Demoncenflower's origin spirit. Ling Xiao's Celestial Emperor Prison Suppression Technique contained the power to destroy heaven and earth. When it collided with the sword light, the power was terrifying to the extreme. The phantom of the heavenly emperor became more and more corporeal. That vast hell seemed capable of swallowing everything. Empyrean Demoncenflower's shocking sword Qi was instantly suppressed by that hell. Extreme Dao Emperor Weapon? This brat has the complete inheritance of a great emperor. Empyrean Demoncenflower's body trembled. In an instant, his eyes revealed incomparable greed. The heavenly prison steel was an extremely terrifying Extreme Dao Emperor weapon, and the heavenly emperor prison suppression technique was a supreme emperor technique of the same origin as the heavenly prison steel. With Empyrean Demoncenflower's sharp eyes, he almost instantly confirmed that Ling Xiao had the complete inheritance of a great emperor. Rumble. A chaotic world seemed to explode around Empyrean Demon Sunflower. His origin spirit seemed to have turned into a sunflower that connected heaven and earth, blooming with monstrous light. In an instant it collided with the heavenly prison steel, and the heavenly prison steel was sent flying. Ant-like thing, hand over the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon to me, said Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower coldly. He slapped out with his palm, an endless dark light erupted. It was as if billions of black sword lights were descending, wanting to completely obliterate the celestial sovereign in the void. Although Ling Xiao had the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon, Empyrean Demon Sunflower was already standing at the peak of the Saint Ruler realm. He was only a step away from the Imperial Emperor realm. The Extreme Dao Emperor weapon did not affect him too much. Therefore, even if Ling Xiao had the Extreme Dao Emperor weapon, he did not take Ling Xiao seriously. Gotcha. The black sword Qi that filled the sky was incomparably turbulent. In an instant, it collided with the Heavenly Emperor's phantom in the void. The sword Qi seemed to be able to destroy everything. The Heavenly Emperor's phantom and the vast hell were destroyed by the black sword Qi that filled the sky. Ling Xiao felt an unparalleled divine power attacking him. He was directly sent flying. The blood in his body churned, and a trace of bright red blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Is this the battle strength of a Empyrean? Ling Zhao's face was incomparably pale, but his eyes became sharper. A terrifying battle intent erupted from his body. Clang! At this moment, a dazzling sword qi swept across the void. In an instant, it erupted with a peerless elegance. It seemed to directly penetrate the heaven and earth, cleansing the universe and splitting the entire world in half. The sword qi was extremely dazzling, pointing directly at Empyrean Demon Sunflower. Moreover, it had completely locked onto him. There was no room for him to dodge at all. Gu Daoyi made his move. He did not directly attack before. Instead, he was looking for an opportunity. After Ling Xiao and Empyrean Demon Sunflower clashed, he found a flaw in Empyrean Demon Sunflower and instantly attacked. No one could describe the elegance of that sword qi, and no one could describe the terror of that sword qi. Empyrean Demon Sunflower's angry roar came from the void. In an instant, the black demonic light that filled the sky was swept away. The universe was cleansed, and the jade sky was clear for thousands of miles. A blood-red light suddenly bloomed. Pooh! A huge wound appeared from between Empyrean Demon Sunflower's eyebrows all the way to his lower abdomen. It almost split him in half. Moreover, an incomparably terrifying sword qi adhered to the wound, making it impossible for him to heal it. Ah! Gu Daoyi, you deserve to die. Empyrean Demon Sunflower roared, his eyes filled with shock and anger. This was the fierce lord. This was the demon realm's #1 prodigy from hundreds of millions of years ago. This was the Gu Daoyi who survived the Emperor Tribulation and sealed himself for hundreds of millions of years. However, once he came out, he could still injure Empyreans. What a powerful sword Dao! Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of amazement. Gu Daoyi's sword qi was incomparably pure, as if it did not have any impurities. There was only speed and sharpness that exceeded imagination. It was as if there was nothing in the world that could not be cut through. Even Empyrean Demon Sunflower was in danger of dying under this sword qi. Gu Daoyi's hair and beard were all white at this moment. He stood in the air, his entire body exuding an incomparably pure and vast sword intent. A faint smile hung at the corners of his mouth. How was there still a trace of sloppy appearance? He was like a peerless sword immortal, making people not dare to look at him directly. Little friend Ling Xiao, how about we try and see who can kill Empyrean Demon Sunflower first? Gu Daoyi ignored Empyrean Demon Sunflower's angry roar. Instead, he glanced at Ling Xiao and smiled faintly. It seemed to have appeared from nowhere, containing the fluctuations of the laws of the world. It directly tore through space and stabbed towards Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower's forehead. This sword contained powerful origin divinity power, seemingly wanting to directly annihilate Empyrean Devil Sunflower's origin divinity. This sword was the god-slaying sword. Gu Daoyi, you dare to stop me? Lord Demon Emperor will not let you off. Celestial Master Demon Sunflower roared in exasperation. At the same time, he mobilized the surrounding Great Dao laws to form 12 defensive barriers in front of him, wanting to block the sword. Puff! 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 Unparalleled sword light swept over. And those 12 defensive barriers were actually like paper, unable to withstand Gu Daoyi's deity-slaying sword at all. They all exploded with a loud bang, heading straight for the space between heavenly venerable demonic sunflower's brows. Rumble! A blazing light instantly erupted from Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower's forehead. A sunflower suffused with chaotic qi suddenly emerged, emitting an immortal light. That sword qi collided with the illusory sunflower. The void distorted, and the sword qi directly shattered. But that sunflower was also somewhat dim, and even a trace of blood light pervaded out. Puff! Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower spat out a mouthful of blood, his face instantly becoming somewhat pale. He had just summoned his life origin divinity to barely block that sword, but his origin divinity still suffered some injuries. Gu Daoyi was too terrifying. However, Gu Daoyi's face was also slightly pale, and his entire person's aura was somewhat weak. It could be seen that this sword was not so easy for Gu Daoyi. If I had the cultivation of a peak Saint King, this sword would definitely kill you. Gu Daoyi said faintly, a trace of regret in his eyes. His present cultivation was still somewhat weak. He had sealed himself in the sealing dragon abyss for hundreds of millions of years. In reality, he was also recultivating. After all, in the legendary Supreme Emperor tribulation, if one did not become an emperor, one would die. Although he was lucky enough to escape with his life, his origin source was almost completely shattered. It was not easy for him to recultivate to his present realm. If he could take another step forward, this god-slaying sword was not something that Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower could resist. Kill! At this moment, Ling Xiao charged over again. His eyes were filled with an incomparably powerful fighting spirit. He was also incomparably shocked by Gu Daoi's sword. This legendary fierce lord was indeed terrifying. If Gu Daoi was not here, it would probably be very difficult for Ling Xiao to defeat Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower. Rumble! The great battle broke out once again. Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower roared again and again. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock and anger. He sent Ling Xiao flying again and again, but Ling Xiao charged over again and again, and the more he fought, the braver he became. Although Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower's cultivation and combat strength were stronger than Ling Xiao, most of his attention was on Gu Daoi. Gu Daoi was too much of a threat to him. Although Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower wanted to break out of the encirclement, he sadly discovered that under the joint forces of Ling Xiao and Gu Daoi, he actually had no way to escape from the 10,000 Dragons Sacred Mountain. A dignified Celestial Master powerhouse, this battle was incomparably sullen. Senior Gu Daoi is really too powerful. As expected of the infamous fierce lord of ancient times. With the cultivation of an ordinary Saint King, he injured Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower with 2 swords. Fierce Lord's attainments in the Sword Dao are too terrifying. If he is allowed to recover his peak cultivation, perhaps he can really touch the Supreme Emperor realm. Who is that Ling Xiao? With the cultivation of a mere great saint, and with an extreme Dao Emperor weapon, he can actually fight with Celestial Master Demonic Sunflower. Too terrifying. Such a peerless prodigy. I've never heard of it in the demon realm before. Who is he? Everyone discussed animatedly, their eyes filled with incomparable amazement. Gu Daoi's strength was naturally without a doubt. Almost all the older powerhouses had heard of Fierce Lord's awe-inspiring reputation. Towards Gu Daoi's powerful combat strength, they were naturally incomparably amazed. But Ling Xiao was very unfamiliar. They had never seen him before, nor had they heard of Ling Xiao's name. They were very curious about Ling Xiao's identity. Previously, Ling Xiao's battle at Ling Xiao Mountain, although his name shook the heavens, most of those who knew him were people from the Divine Realm and the Devil Realm. Some top powerhouses from other worlds might know the identity of the Heaven's chosen son, Ling Xiao, but these people from the Dragon Clan had practically never heard of it. This was also because the Dragon Clan had lived in seclusion these few years, quietly recovering their strength. They did not have much contact with the outside world, so they did not know that Ling Xiao was the Heaven's chosen son. However, the terrifying combat strength still made them incomparably shocked. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.